Warning. The following podcast may occasionally contain strong language and material that is not suitable for all ages. If you are easily offended, it is highly advised that you turn back now. However, if you're a degenerate, welcome, brethren. You've found your home.
This is Wine, Dine, and Storytime. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. We're a podcast that shares stories of true crime, mysteries, and other messed up things. We do this within a dinner with friends theme. I'm Stephanie with an I, and I just love to praise our Lord Jesus.
Oh, for cute. I'm Karen. We're having a hot dish for supper tonight. Oh, you betcha.
Pip, pip, cheerio. I'm Emily, and I'm chuffed to bits to be on this cheeky podcast.
This week, we're covering cases of identity theft, in case you didn't guess. You know how I keep scammers from stealing my identity?
How's that?
I max out my credit cards. I always keep them at the max.
This is a great idea.
Yes. I am fully in debt. Crippling debt.
This is a great idea.
Yeah. How do you keep scammers from stealing your identity data?
Well, I am really good at keeping my credit score as very low as possible. So
Absolutely.
No one would want to steal this credit.
Great idea.
It's good,
they
right?
qualify for none of your credit.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah. For more financial advice, follow us on social media.
Yeah. It's a great place to follow us. We're really smart and know lots of things about money and finance.
Oh, yeah. We talk a lot about finance on this podcast.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We're really good at it.
Yeah. Cindy has some tips for you later, too. They might be more valuable.
Yeah. Keep listening.
Yeah. We're going to talk about identity theft crimes. More specifically, murders.
Oh, is yours a murder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours isn't?
No, it is.
Oh, okay. And we're laughing. Let us pray.
We should definitely pray.
Yes. Bless us, O patrons, for these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy donations through Patreon every month. Podcast.
Colt. What you think, Dana?
First of all, I fucking love French fried onions. They're like one of my favorite things in the whole entire planet.
I know.
This burger is fantastic. What is this barbecue sauce?
This is a bourbon sweet and spicy, I want to say.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Dude.
It's so good.
I'm going to put it on record. This is the best burger I've had in my life.
It's definitely slamming. It's really good. It's very messy, but it's really good.
It's the best burger I've had in my life.
Bitch. Yes, bitch.
And just like identity theft, I'm about to change some things for you.
Fucking turkey.
It is a burger with gouda.
Oh.
And the barbecue sauce and all the fixins and the French fried onions, but it's actually bison.
Girl.
Bison.
I knew this wasn't your ordinary burger.
It's really good. I don't love your deception, but I love this burger. It's so good.
Well, this episode is all about deception.
It's very true. Very smart move.
Well, let me just tell you that I love her deception because I love bison meat.
Where the fuck do you buy bison meat from?
ShopRite.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Just our local shop store? Shopping
Yes.
store?
Yes.
Really?
It's not cheap.
I had my first bison steak in Disney at like the Hollywood and Derby restaurant, and I was like pleasantly pleased.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, there's a local restaurant called Tony Beef, and they do exotic
I just
meats,
had one of those, yeah.
but their bison is usually on the menu all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have kangaroo.
Yeah,
Really?
they've done kangaroo, they've
Yeah.
done crocodile, they've done all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to finish this fucking burger.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the best burger I've ever had in my life. I think I said that before.
You did say that. It was fantastic. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved its face. I loved its crust. I loved everything about it.
I wanted to marry it in a small, intimate ceremony with just friends.
I think you should.
I'm not kidding you.
It was really good.
Yeah, like...
I was eating French fried onions like they were potato chips, too, because I'm a piece of shit.
Because they are potato
Yeah,
chips.
they're so good.
You're not a piece of shit. Hey,
Also,
we're very drunk.
we've been drinking.
Yeah.
We've been sitting here for hours and not recording because we've just been talking.
Yep. That's what happens when you get drunk.
That's what happens.
Or high. We're not high.
We're not high.
just
Not
for the
high, because
record.
I don't think anything would get done if we were high.
No. But Cindy, I
Did we have more?
I don't know
You just
what I
bring one
want to
for
do for
each
you.
house?
No, you got one. Do you know how much bison burger meat costs? You get
No,
one
I
burger.
Terrible. What are we drinking?
This is a Shiraz. Yes.
You know what? I put a little ice in it, and I really like this.
It's Mr. Black's Little Book, a 2017 Shiraz.
Mr. Black's Little Book.
Yes.
That is
And it's
very
like a
interesting.
little book opened
Fun.
up. And I really, really like this
It's good.
wine.
Yeah, I really like this.
Yes. So much so that I might need an Uber home.
We'll have to call Russell and have him pick you up.
That's my Uber.
Yeah. As you pour yourself some more wine.
Yes.
It's like it's slightly dry, but it still has a touch of sweetness, so
Yes.
it lets you fully enjoy the wine.
Yeah, it's not real. It's like almost a perfect bottle of wine.
Yes,
because it's
it
not
is.
really sweet, because I know you hate that.
Yeah.
It's not really tart, which I hate.
Right.
There's
It's not
that
peppery.
That's what I was going to say.
I rubbed off on you.
It's so good. It's really, really good. I really enjoy
love
this.
it. How much was this?
$13.
Right in the pocket.
Right in the pocket. I forgot what I was going to say. Mr. Black, kudos to you on
Kudos to you,
wine.
Mr. Black. This is fantastic.
Thank you, sir. Oh my God. Okay, so I know you guys met with our favorite dude, fellow podcaster,
Yes,
Derek.
who we've literally talked about every week for the last month and a half.
Right,
Yeah.
of Ratchet Book Club. You know what? Like, you guys met with him, and I had FOMO. I had so much FOMO.
We were texting you like, "Where are you? You're
Okay.
missing the message.
Let
You're
me
missing
tell
the
you.
meeting."
Let me tell you what the hell happened, right? So my son just started college, and my son has been coddled like he's fucking Prince Tut. Wait,
Yeah.
King Tut?
King Tut.
All right, but he's Prince Tut.
Yes,
okay?
definitely.
Like, he's a royal baby, okay? He's been coddled his whole life. So right now he's on his own. So he's never been on his own, right? So he comes home at 9 a.m. and he's like, hey, I'm coming home to get my laundry done, which I'm like sopping it up, you know, because I'm that mom.
I'm glad Gage is 4.5 hours away.
Yeah. So he comes over and he's like, I need a little help with some work. And I was like, okay, at most, usually he would write a paper, I would read it over, and then, you know, make some editing suggestions, which was the extent of the work that I was expecting to do that day,
Yeah.
right? At 9 a.m., this MFer comes and he says, oh, I'm really behind on some classes. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe he needs to do one
He's
project.
been in school for like a week and a half.
He had a total of, I believe it was some crazy number. I know that I finally, at the end of the day, I did 14 assignments for one class.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I did 3 assignments for another one and 1 project. I won't say his school. But yeah, so one whole, he took 5 classes.
What degree are you getting?
Yeah.
You're getting a business degree, right?
I didn't realize you wanted to go back to college.
Here's the thing. He took 5 classes, right? Which is like, okay, that's not that big. But he's also an athlete, you know? So, which means he has to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do workouts. He has to go to practice after, for 2 hours after his classes. And then he has to go to weight training at night or something like that. It's like a crazy schedule.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, it's games, right? So it's this crazy schedule. But his 5th class is a 7-week program. So it's like double time.
Okay.
So it's double
Like
the
a short
assignments.
yeah.
So it's double the assignments, and he didn't know this. And his advisor, said, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he owed like 28 assignments
Fuck.
for this computer class. And he had to drop that class, which the advisor was like, dude, you should have never taken it to begin with.
Right.
Like, you are way overloaded.
Right.
And David is the type of kid that's always been like really responsible with classes. I don't know where he gets it from because I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So he does well in school. He's just self-motivated to do well in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he cried.
Oh.
I cried. It was like a
And you
crying
missed
party.
Derek, yeah.
I missed Derek's thing. I did 14 Spanish assignments, and I did 3 assignments for his computer class and one whole project.
Jesus Christ.
We were just so fucking frustrated.
That's
but in
crazy.
the end, he couldn't finish it. And
Yeah.
he gave it a freaking good old championship try. But he also learned in college, college is hard. You can't
Right.
leave it to the last minute.
It's not for everybody, right?
No.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm stupid. College isn't for me.
Oh, stop.
College for me was a way out for my daughter. And that, I think, motivated me
100%.
beyond that.
Yeah.
Him,
He's like playing baseball and like having a good
he's
time.
like, I just want to play baseball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And his generation doesn't see college as important anymore.
No, because it was like shoved down our throats
yeah,
so fucking
and they're
hard.
like a lot of his friends that like went to high school with him. None of them are going to college.
Yeah.
They're going to trade school. They're doing other things because they're just like, okay, I'm going to go to college, get in all this debt,
Right.
and not even get a job. Like plumbers make money, electricians make money,
Yeah.
carpenters make money, and they don't have to get into all this like debt. They also don't have to take fucking jazz appreciation. Like
Right,
that's
right.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Like if you were gonna major, you know what I mean? Like let's say you wanted to be a teacher. Literally the amount of classes that you would take to do that is probably 2 years. 2-3 years. Not necessarily the 4 years. You're just taking all these like elective things and
Because the college got to make money. That's
Yeah.
all it is. If I could take classes just for the degree
Right.
and the study things I actually want to work that are career
that would that propel you in your career.
right. I could have finished 10 degrees instead of 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, it's
Cindy has 3
interesting.
degrees. She just
I
needs to
do.
point that out.
That's why I'm pointing it out.
Yeah. So
Here
he
we
learned
are.
a valuable lesson.
Good. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it only-
sucks you missed a
Yeah.
very fun episode
Oh.
or a very fun time. I wouldn't call it an episode, but we ended up getting a little Patreon thing out of it, which was really fun.
I missed out.
We ended up talking about politics and all kinds of
Really?
yeah, it was nice to chat with him. Yeah.
Oh my God, I missed out. But I do get to be on Storytellers.
Yes, we're going to be on an episode of Storytellers, and we're actually going to drop it on our feed as well. So it'll be a
Yay!
bonus episode in a couple of weeks. I don't know. It could be a couple months. I don't know. But sooner than later,
It's
we'll
coming.
have a bonus episode coming that
Right.
is going to be so fun, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm sorry you missed it.
Well, I didn't technically. I missed the meeting.
Yeah,
of
you missed the meeting, which
Yeah.
was really fun in its own right.
That meeting was like 3 hours long.
Yeah, which is like why my house is still upside down. I'm in the middle of moving bedrooms, and it's like I got nothing done. So, but I had so much fun, so it was fine.
Worth it.
Worth it.
That's right. So
You got a story to tell me?
I do. Is it my turn to go first?
I think
today?
so.
So my story is a little kooky. And so I got my story directly from a really, really interesting magazine type of website. It's called the atavistmagazine.com.
Okay.
ATAVIST. Check it out. It is a beautiful online magazine, by the way.
Okay.
This article is called The Pretender, and it's by John Rosengren. And when I read it, I was like, scrap everything else that I've read about this freaking story, because I usually do a lot of research.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so beautifully written, and the pictures are so artistically. It's on point. It's on point, and there's like little clicks that you can click, sound bites. It is. I can't do it fucking justice, but I am linking it to the show notes so that you can go on there, and some of it is paraphrased, and there's a lot more to look at on here because this is a very intense, very thorough story. Loved this magazine site.
Really? All right.
Really did. It's really well done.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
Yes. So I'm going to tell the story. It's like a story.
Okay.
Okay. So on the evening of Friday, March 23rd, 2018, this was very recent.
Wow.
The police department in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, dispatched 2 officers to check on a man named Dave Riess. They drove up a winding dirt drive to a small tan ranch home.
Okay.
The house was dark, and so was the building where Dave raised the fishing bait he sold.
Okay.
He had a worm farm.
A worm farm.
Yes.
All right.
None of Dave's employees at the Prairie Wax Worm Farm nor his business partner had seen or talked to him for almost 2 weeks, even though they worked on the property. He hadn't picked up or returned their calls. They had, however, received responses to text messages, but Dave usually dictated his messages like, voice to text.
Right.
And it made the words run together. And so these replies that they were getting, these new replies to their text messages, like a lot of killers do, they pretend to keep the person going.
Yes.
They used punctuation. So
Wrong punctuation.
no, they used punctuation.
Oh, okay.
Whereas he would dictate it, and it would be like all like,
Understood, yeah.
So they noticed that was a difference. They were like, this is weird, right?
Okay.
So if you're going to kill somebody and pretend like they're carrying on, you better use their same, punctuation.
That was a problem for me, my person, too.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So Dave was supposed to have left for a fishing tournament in Illinois on Tuesday, March 20th. He would have taken his white Cadillac Escalade, which was what he typically used to pull his 20-foot-long boat, because you need to hitch and, But on Thursday, 2 employees saw Lois, Dave's wife of 35 years, pull out of the driveway in the Escalade. They hadn't seen her since, and after a while, the employees called the police because they were like, okay, we saw her leave in the Escalade.
Right.
And we haven't seen her since. Like,
okay.
She's just pieced out, right? So, Blooming Prairie is a small town in southeastern Minnesota. It's a stop along the railroad tracks that run parallel to U.S. Highway 218. So, it would be like these small little farm towns that are near us, where you're just like driving past them. There's really nothing there.
Yeah.
So, it's surrounded by vast fields of corn and soybeans, much like much of the Garden State where we live.
Right.
There's a 2-block main street of brick buildings with storefronts that include BZ Hardware, Farmer and Merchant State Bank, and J&H Liquors.
I can literally picture this little town in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your typical little town.
All-American little town, yeah.
It's a neat grid of quiet streets about a 1.5 mile square containing mostly single-story homes.
Right.
No big buildings or anything like that. It's a town of about 1,900 people who leave their front doors open when they go to sleep at night, and everybody knows each other's first names. All right? It's not a place steeped in intrigue. At least it wasn't. Because this changes it all.
Okay.
And these are not my words. These are strictly from the site. I just want to be 100% transparent.
Right.
That this was beautifully written, not by myself.
Right.
Credit where credit is due, because I could
That's
never
why
write
it's going to be so flourished and beautifully worded.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the Riess's home was in the country, a mile south on 218, past 6 massive grain bins that sat on the edge of town. So can you picture that?
Yes.
Like the grain bins.
Yeah, like
and
those big silos or whatever. Yeah.
And they're it's just right off of the freaking highway.
Yeah.
It's just there. So the night the police visited was dark and cold. It's nowhere near civilization. So, and it still had snow on the ground. It's March. No one answered the door. So the 2 officers walk around the house's perimeter, and they noticed that a light was coming from an open bathroom window. So one hoisted up the other to peer inside. Like
stick your foot in the hand and give it a little boost. Yep. Yeah.
So what he spotted appeared to be a body covered with a blanket.
Okay.
So this has taken a turn. The cops asked for 2 deputies from the Dodge County Sheriff's Office. I guess they were a bigger department, to come and go inside the house. So they find Dave Riess on the floor.
Okay.
He had been shot twice with a .22 caliber handgun, once in the chest, once in the back. A bullet pierced clean through his forearm, suggesting that he had raised it to protect himself.
Right.
He'd been dead for 10 days, maybe longer.
Shit.
His body had already started to marble, bloat, and decompose. So ask anyone in Blooming Prairie, and they'll tell you that Dave was a jovial guy, generous with his employees, loved to tell stories, made up funny songs. That's my jam.
Yeah, it's your favorite thing to do.
But his laugh left the biggest impression. The rumble in his throat built to an eruption that shook his husky frame.
Oh my God.
And soon it had you laughing too.
Yeah.
Without even realizing why you were laughing.
Yeah.
All right?
Just an infectious laugh.
Kind of like Cindy's laugh at the end of this podcast. Her dragon laugh.
Right.
So being around Dave just felt good. He was a nice guy. All right. Now, move forward to another location, South Padre Island. This is a narrow strip of land in the Gulf of Mexico at the southernmost tip of Texas. Did you know that?
I did not.
It's a popular vacation spot for families and retirees.
Fun.
Isn't it always the case, though?
Yes.
On April 9th, 2018, this is almost a month later.
Okay.
Just about 3 weeks later. A middle-aged woman with long blonde hair checked into the island's Motel 6. All right. She requested an out-of-the-way room and paid cash in advance for a week's stay.
Okay.
2 days later, in the early afternoon of Wednesday, April 11th, the woman left room 227 and walked around.
Jackie?
Jackie? Yes. Dude, every time I hear that number, I'm like, Jackie.
I can't hear it. It just pings in your head.
I know. It's like if you hear West Philadelphia, you're born and raised.
That's right.
You know? Anyway. So, so she leaves her room.
She leaves 227.
227, and walks across the parking lot to the Padre Rita grill for lunch. Okay. The owner, Kathy Lafferty, a friendly 61-year-old with blonde hair herself, greeted the woman and complimented her cute outfit and matching hat. Lafferty asked her what her name was, and she answered, Donna.
Uh-oh.
Cafferty asked, like, Madonna?
La Donna?
Right? And Lois responded, yeah, that's why I just go by Donna. I mean, as soon as she messed up her name, right? As soon as she messed up her name, you're like,
And you were like, yeah, Madonna.
Yeah, who the fuck
Madonna
is 50-something years old named Madonna? Only the Madonna.
Just the one.
Just the one.
It's just that one.
Right. Like, a bitch be lying.
Yeah, for real.
Like, no. I'm like, no.
Sit
I need
down,
to see your
Lois.
fucking license.
Sit down, Lois.
You liar. Right. This became their little joke. Because she believed it. She was just like, yeah, okay.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm. And now the woman introduced herself around South Padre as
Madonna.
Madonna Donna.
Donna.
The little Donna.
Oh, my God.
All right. So she decided to stay a while, right? Because, like, people are buying it.
Yeah, they love it.
Right. So Donna returned to the grill daily, often in the evening where there was live music. She was happy. She laughed a lot. She was a delightful person, people describe her as, right? Lafferty even said she would hire her if she asked for a job because she was that sociable. She would just strike up a conversation with anybody, with the customers, with the wait staff, anybody.
We love Donna.
Right. She also mentioned that she had been in Florida previously, but had come into some money and was looking to buy a condo, and she was asking around about property taxes and homeowners association fees and things like that for the condos.
Okay.
All right. So she always paid in cash from a large wad.
Oh, shit.
And she tipped generously.
Okay, great.
You would have been like, I don't give a fuck what your name
where you're pulling that money from.
Yes.
As long as it's not wet and it's
This is covered in blood, but it's dry.
It's fine.
It's not
Dry
wet.
blood
As
is
long
fine.
as it's right. As long as it's not wet.
Yeah, we don't
blood.
want wet money.
Right. So right.
Ugh.
Although.
I mean, money's money, right?
Right.
Pull it from wherever you want. I don't give a shit.
You could pull a wad of hundreds straight from your taint, and I'd be like, "Yup, let me washing my hands."
Get my rubber gloves and put them in my pocket. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. So the grill staff liked Donna.
Yeah, I guess they did.
Yeah. And she even flirted with the Padre Rita bartender, Arnie. And he was very much younger than her. But he flirted back while she was tipping.
Yeah, that's right.
But when she asked him out, he was like, And you know what? That just tells me the fact that she was flirting with him, she wanted to get laid.
Yeah.
You know?
She was there for a good time.
She was there for a good time.
That's right.
Definitely not a woman that had anything to feel guilty about.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely not somebody that had anything weighing on her shoulders.
Nothing to hide, nothing to lose.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So I'm like, ew, the cougar needs a hose down. Icky. Donna made other friends around town. She met Isabel Barrero at the Motel 6 pool. Barrero, who was 52 and lived 75 miles away in Alamo, had come to the island by herself for a short vacation.
Love it.
Something she frequently did.
Oh, I love it.
When she met Donna, she was like, cool, another woman by herself, somebody to talk to. And they hit it off.
Mistake number 1. Don't talk to people.
Well,
I'm all for travel alone. Don't talk to anybody.
The common thread here is the fact that so many people, so many women are traveling by themselves. And I'm like, mistake number 1.
No.
Okay. Well,
No.
okay.
It's the socializing. That's where you get in trouble. Don't talk to people.
Okay. Fair enough. Right.
Yeah.
That's where they went wrong. So they hit it off. They had a couple of drinks and they sat and they chatted. And Dana, you could have totally been killed.
Shut up.
Totally. And she still wants to go on her own.
I know. I was trying to
listen.
plan another one. I'm like, you guys are going to be so mad if I try to plan another one.
No, I won't.
Okay. Good.
Donna explained to Barrero that her husband had died, and she teared up as she spoke. She's so sad, so broken up about it. Barrero didn't ask any questions to avoid being nosy. But I would have definitely, I would have definitely been like, did you kill him?
I know you wouldn't. But you do just say, like, whoa, how'd he die? I'm so sorry,
Yes. What did he die from? You guys are young. But always in the back of my mind, I'm like, you killed him, motherfucker. Mm-hmm. So over the next 2 days, they had lunch, went shopping, hung out in each other's motel rooms, and sat on the beach. Donna posed for photos for her new friend even. Like, she was just like that. They were like besties right away.
Yeah.
All right. And everybody that met her were like, wow, she was like super approachable, super friendly, super easy to get along with. Like, you felt like you knew her for years.
Okay.
A week later, the national news sent shockwaves through Padre Rita.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
And across Padre Island itself, right? That's when locals discovered Donna's true identity. She had an L name. She was not a Madonna. All right. So born in Rochester, Minnesota on April 24th, 1963, David Riess grew up southeast of the city's downtown. He was a prankster at Mayo High School, class of 1981. The spring before graduation, he enlisted in the Navy and was stationed in San Diego, where he married Lois White on September 17th, 1982. He was 19, she was 20. Lois was from Rochester, the fourth of 5 children. Their father was an engineer at IBM. Their mother was a hoarder.
Oh, that's a good career.
Yeah, that's like the complete opposite.
Right.
So this embarrassed Lois so much that she never invited anybody to the house.
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. Following their wedding, she and Dave had 3 children in quick succession over 4 years. A boy, a girl, and then a boy.
Okay.
When Dave finished serving the Navy, they were stationed in Guam. They moved back to Rochester. Dave drove a forklift for Crenlo, a manufacturer of metal equipment, and eventually he opened the Bait Box, which was a small bait shop where he sold bait and fishing tackle. Lois ran a daycare center out of their home, and in 2005 they moved to Blooming Prairie, where Dave could pursue his dream of opening a waxworm farm.
So weird.
Mm-hmm. Like, are you a little boy, and like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to open a waxworm farm.
I don't even know what a waxworm is. Oh, I think I do. They're the big green ones, right?
I guess.
I think my bearded dragon used to eat those. They're
So
like
you're very
big and
familiar.
fat.
Ugh.
And
I
they're
couldn't.
like-
Ugh.
If they're what I think they are.
They're my phobia. All right. So several months after they arrived on the afternoon of February 16th, 2006, a fire destroyed their house. No one was hurt, but the Riesses lost everything, including their cats. The cause, I know, Dana just clutched her pearls, her pretend pearls. She clutched her chest hair. The cause may have been some faulty wiring that Dave had done, which he felt very guilty about.
Okay.
In a show of sympathy, their neighbors took up a collection, and after they had moved back into their rebuilt house, which had 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, she set up her daycare facility there. She often had hot breakfast sandwiches for the parents dropping off their school.
Get the fuck
yeah,
outta
she was
here.
like very thoughtful. She
Good
did
for
a lot
her.
of thoughtful things. Okay,
I would like to drop my kid off at that
Yeah, press the easy button. It's done for you, right?
Yeah.
So when her kids had children of their own, she had, she would lavish her grandchildren with gifts, and she was involved in her community. She joined the Women's Bowling League, and she went from, she traveled with another dozen women to these tournaments and things around the state.
Fun.
Yeah. So the consensus around town was that Lois was nice. She kept a clean house, she was a good cook, and after she stopped running the daycare in 2014, she helped out at the farm. And it became a very lucrative business. The staff made deliveries to Walmart, Quick Trip, and other bait shops throughout the area. Also in Illinois and Iowa. It was just like a multi-state thing.
Okay, cool.
Wisconsin, They also shipped boxes of waxworm, which is excellent bait to catch panfish. So these went all over the country.
Okay.
And winter was their busiest time because ice fishermen use waxworms.
Business is good.
Business is booming.
Who fucking knew?
And Dave treated his employees well, which were mostly young guys in their late teens and early 20s, and they saw him as a second father.
Okay.
He would often put gas in their trucks, gave them money when they needed it, took them fishing. He was a nice guy.
He sounds great.
The last time that Dave's friends saw him was at that J&H. What?
I just looked up waxworms. They're not the big green ones. They look more like maggots.
Ew, girl! Oh, I hate maggots.
My bearded dragon used to eat those too. Nasty.
You probably ordered them from him.
Probably, yeah.
All right, so the last time that they saw him was at the J&H on that main street.
Okay.
I told you?
Yeah.
On Thursday evening, March 8th, 2018. So they drank, and remember, they didn't find his body until the 20th or the 23rd.
Right. A bunch of days later.
A bunch of days later, all right? So that night they had drank pool. they drank liquor. They drank.
They got drunk.
They drank, they shot pool, they talked about football. Nothing was strange.
Just a regular old night.
But that was the last time that they saw him. That night, Lois and Dave went to their grandson's basketball tournament. Then, on Monday, March 12th, Lois stopped by the Worm Farm's office. Instead of, greeting the workers like she used to and asking them about their weekend, she kept her head down and she said, Dave's not feeling good. I got to take care of him. They didn't see her the next day or the next day.
Okay.
All right. On Thursday, she comes back to the office and they're like, how's Dave? And she's like, still sick. And she's like, I'm going to take him to the doctor on Friday. And it was weird to the employees because Dave was not only absent, but also not communicating with anyone. Mm. But, he did have a history of stomach issues. So they were like, maybe.
He's probably laid up in bed. He's not feeling well.
And he's not feeling responding or looking at his phone or whatever. So they said that she sat at the desk in the office staring out the window towards the house, just staring blankly. Mm. And at one point she put her head in her hands and
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, and elbows on her knees. Mm. She just fully went into the fetal position.
Yeah.
The following week, Lois said that the doctor had cleared Dave to compete in the season opener of the Cabela's Master Walleye Circuit. It's I guess it's a fishing competition. All right. So it meant that he had to leave on Tuesday morning.
Oh,
and,
okay.
It meant he was going to be away.
He was going to be gone longer.
Right. His employees said that that's what he did. And
so he went from being sick in bed that he can't answer text messages.
to being fully recovered and I'm going away.
On a fishing tournament.
Right.
Perfect.
They were like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's, whatever. But then they saw her leave the property on the day after he should have gone. 2 days after he should have been away.
Did they suspect that she was supposed to be with him?
No, but they were like, okay, he needs the Escalade.
Oh.
Because how's he going to tow his boat?
They saw her driving around his car.
And they saw her driving.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, okay, then he didn't go. The 56-year-old grandmother turned up the next day at Diamond Joe, a farm-themed casino across the Iowa border. A farm-themed casino.
I love it so much.
What? All right, so it's about a 45-minute drive from Blooming Prairie. She went there a lot because she liked to play slot machines in the high rollers room.
Perfect.
All right. It was that night when police found Dave's body. So they were like, the employees,
Shit.
Lois had been in and out of the house for more than a week as he lay dead in the bathroom. By the time investigators from the Dodge County Sheriff's Office, Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation arrived at the Diamond Joe Casino the next day.
Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful.
Because they tracked her cell phone there.
Yeah.
She was already gone. Your cat is now
He's
part of the
screaming,
podcast.
I know.
Her children were distraught by the whole
Yeah.
friggin' ordeal. I mean, their father was dead, their mother was disappeared, right? And they had no idea where she was because she wasn't answering any of them.
Yeah.
The Dodge County Sheriff's Office released a statement identifying Lois as a person of interest and known to frequent casinos. It warned that she might be armed.
Oh, shit.
All right? And this was earlier. She had received the gun, which was a collector's item, a Colt Woodsman 22 caliber from her dad, who had passed away. This is the gun that she was carrying. Detectives discovered that in the previous week, Lois had deposited 2 business checks missing from the worm farm. One for $8,684.80, the other for $1,209.60. She took it from her account to their personal, from the business account to their personal checking account. She had also cashed 3 checks drawn for $2,500, $7,500, and $1,000. The last 2 on March 23rd. They issued a warrant for her arrest for felony theft.
Okay.
Because regardless of whether you own a business or not, you can't just take
money from it, yeah.
So from the beginning, Lois was the only suspect in Dave's death.
Yeah.
But why would she kill her husband, right? Investigators found no evidence of her or him having an affair and nothing of domestic abuse.
Well, she's a gambling addict.
Right. Well, yeah. But it was like not very common for a gambling addict to kill somebody for the habit.
Right.
They usually steal or, it gets like, it gets bad, but it's never like murder bad, right? So the fact that she had gone to, forged these checks and then gone straight to the casino, along with the information that they had gathered about her stealing the money, and, it pointed to only one motive, and that was like she was feeding a gambling addiction that just made her snap.
Out of control, yeah.
Compulsive gambling falls into 2 basic categories. And this I kind of knew, but this cemented it.
Okay.
Thrill seekers, who are usually men, and they play high stakes games and they just put it all. They want to win big, right?
Okay.
And escape artists. And these are the women who play slot machines. They don't do it to hit a jackpot, but they kind of do it to enter a trance-like state. And this is very linked to depression.
Yeah,
so they want
disassociation type of situation.
Disassociative behavior, where they don't want to deal with their feelings, so they just want to feel numb.
Girl,
and
get
they just want to
talk.
It's so funny because my mom is
I know, I've been to the casino with your mom.
Yeah. My mom does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh my God, you've literally gambled away.
Yeah, you just sit there for a long time, yeah.
She doesn't even care if she wins. She just, she just gambles.
It is fun. I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's not like this, but you ever win money? It's like, woohoo, that was fun.
I don't even care.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. So during the course of the investigation, detectives discovered that Lois had withdrawn from her family and friends. So she was going through some type of depression. And, depression presents itself in many different ways.
Very strange ways sometimes.
Yeah. So Dave occasionally went to Diamond Joe with Lois, but that wasn't his thing. It was hers. And it had become a problem in the years leading up to Dave's murder. Lois had bilked several worm farm employees. How could you steal money from the worm farm employees, She would solicit donations from them to buy Dave a golf cart.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry. You're working for the guy and you're, going to donate money back to him?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
So she got money off of them for this golf cart, never purchased it.
Never bought it, right.
One family suspected that she went to the casino with that money. Really, it makes no sense, right? Another thing that they suspected her of is going to the casino with the money that the family had gathered for the interment of her father's remains. He was cremated. They wanted to inter the ashes. And the ashes sat in her house for months after his death in 2014. Her family also said that she had gambled away a $500,000 inheritance from her father. But the worst theft of all was from her oldest sister, Kim. In 2010, Kim's marriage was failing and she had a mental breakdown. Lois and Dave let Kim live with them for a while, like essentially putting her into an adult foster care.
Okay.
Yeah, when somebody can't take care of themselves, it's an adult foster care thing. So in February of 2012, she went and claimed that her sister was unable to perform the daily tasks of living, and she would be making her medical decisions for her. And she claimed that she was going to be her legal guardian and conservator. And she filed papers with the court saying that she suffered from bipolar disorder, Kim, her sister, as well as clinical depression, and she had the cognitive capacity of a 10-year-old, which may or may not have been true,
right.
But she also said that she had Parkinson's disease and schizophrenia. Like, she was just like...
throwing anything at the wall, whatever sticks, yeah.
Right. So she also said that she had obsessive-compulsive disorder that caused her to go on shopping sprees and spend lavishly. So she could have access to her money to control her money.
Right.
With access to her money, though, she was able to access her $200,000 inheritance from her father.
So she got $200,000 from her, $500,000. She's getting money from the...
No amount of $100 of thousands of millions would have satiated her, you know?
And she just, like, keeps eating away at it.
Just keeps eating away at it.
Shit.
Yep. So she withdrew thousands of dollars at a time from an ATM at the Diamond Joe Casino.
Shit.
A court audit on September 15, 2015 uncovered this whole theft. She was like taking it out in like payments. $14,070 on an alleged debt that she owed after her deceased father, you know what I mean? Which her dad was already dead. Like, you don't owe that to him at this point. And then gifts totaling $15,000 to Lois's children, $8,500 in like payments to Lois.
Damn.
For her expenses or whatever. A social worker that was assigned to Kim's case had her guardian conservator rights suspended.
Oh, good.
And that was discharged. So the Steele County Attorney's Office decided not to press charges against Lois, and they instead decided to have her repay $1,534 to Kim in December of 2016.
It's like a fucking drop in the bucket.
Right. If they had pressed charges on her, this probably would have been avoided.
Right.
All right, so there was speculation that Lois was siphoning money from the worm farm, and that Dave, who was well aware of his wife's gambling habit, the last straw came when the couple's savings set aside for a new vehicle had been squandered at the casino.
Shit.
So Lois was nice and all, but she did shitty things. Like, everybody's like, oh, they were great, blah, blah, blah. They seem like a normal couple. But she did shitty things. In 2016, she disappeared for 3 days. And Dave discovered that she had new debts, and she was fucking, he's like, what the fuck? Like, all this money's gone. She's disappeared.
Yeah,
he reported
crazy.
her missing. So when she returned, she said, oh, I'd just been visiting a friend, you know, and like, she acted like it was no big deal. On more than one occasion after that, Dave told his friends, if I ever go missing, come looking for Lois.
See, that's the thing that's so, like, where do you even get from that jump of, like, she's missing money, she's taking this and that, to she might kill me?
Because if you see these changes in a person, you're like, this person's desperate enough to do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? And criminals that are capable of murder, they escalate over time. They start with, like, you know, some set fires, some hurt animals, and then they escalate because they haven't been stopped at this level.
Right.
So let me try this level.
But I guess, like, I can sort of see that in, like, an abusive relationship where if someone's, like, you know, being manipulative or, like, you know, I don't know, some sort of, like, physical or emotional abusive relationship. But, like, an addict, in any variation, like, you just don't really see them as, like, murderous, generally. I mean, obviously anything is possible, especially when you start getting into money, but it just doesn't really seem like the logical jump to me. But clearly he saw it. You know what I mean? Like, he saw something.
Didn't see enough of it, you know?
Right.
I mean, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you don't want to think your wife would kill you over money, Jesus.
Right. So Pam Hutchinson lived in, this is another,
oh, okay.
She lived in Fort Myers Beach, the resort hub of Estero Island in the Gulf of Mexico, on April 3rd, 2018. She was there to be with her longtime friend, Donna Fetro.
Okay.
Let's call it Fetro. Her husband had died recently. He had committed suicide. So Fetro planned to spread his ashes on the nearby Sanibel Island. While Fetro stayed with family on Sanibel, Hutchinson checked herself into condo 404 at the Marina Village at Snug Harbor, a timeshare complex. She's there to be with her friend while she's visiting friends, to spread the ashes.
Right.
She's staying at the condo, the timeshare complex. She was staying alone. Again, Dana. Single white female.
I think it's fine.
Staying alone.
I think it's fine.
Right. Hutchinson, 59, with short blonde hair and a wide smile, was outgoing and quick to make friends. She loved to fish for marlin, stay out late, and vacation in Mexico. Don't we all, my friend? Mm-hmm. She had been a successful car saleswoman in Virginia Beach before divorcing her husband about 2 years earlier and moving to Bradenton, Florida. The week she traveled down to Fort Myers Beach, she found a condo in Bradenton that she wanted to buy. So she was in the middle of talking real estate transaction, okay? People were looking for her. On Tuesday evening, she had dinner with Fetro on Sanibel and then watched the sunset. On Wednesday, Fetro made the short drive to Fort Myers Beach, and the friends ate lunch outside the restaurant off Old San Carlos Boulevard.
Okay.
That evening, Hutchinson passed on Fetro's offer to join her for dinner on Sanibel. Instead, she spent time with another middle-aged woman she'd just met. A new friend.
Madonna.
La Madonna. So the woman inspired Hutchinson's sympathy with her story of being recently widowed. Mm-hmm. And after the pair spent about 3 hours drinking together, a security camera filmed them walking toward Hutchinson's condo. Here's the thing. I've never met a woman that I'm like, oh, let's go back to my place. This is not...
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how older women act. I just don't...
I don't know.
Let's have a sleepover. Let's hang out in my room. No, we're at a bar. We're already doing the thing.
Yeah, right.
I'm
going to go back to my room and go to bed.
Yeah, without you.
Right.
Hutchinson had intended to leave on Thursday, April 5th, but decided to stay another night. That evening, she ate an early dinner with her new friend at the Smoking Oyster.
One fucking night.
I know.
One fucking night.
I know. This becomes a theme with our friend LaDonna. Lois.
Great.
Okay, so that evening she ate dinner with her new friend at Smoking Oyster, a tropical-themed tourist dive.
Okay.
Surveillance footage shows the two of them sitting at the bar. That night, Fetro texted Hutchinson from the beach where her family was spreading her deceased husband's ashes, but got no reply.
Shit.
She's already
gone.
Already gone. She didn't think much of it at the time, right? At 8:30 a.m. Friday, April 6th, Lori Russell, the manager at the Marina Village, received a call at the front desk from condo 404. Oh my gosh, I slept until 4 p.m. yesterday, and then I went out and met some great people, and I'm going to go boating today, the woman on the line said.
I would have been like, what's your fucking point?
Is there any way that I could stay for the weekend? There's the point.
Oh my God.
Lori Russell, the front desk manager, said, sure. And she added 3 more days onto Hutchinson's credit card because she didn't know it wasn't her.
Sure, yeah.
Shortly after 11 a.m., a woman walked up to the counter of the Wells Fargo Bank in Fort Myers Beach wearing a white fedora with a black ribbon around the rim. She withdrew $5,000 from Hutchinson's account,
Christ.
making small talk with the teller, saying she was staying in a nearby hotel but bought a house in Bradenton. And she left the bank. But rather than go boating, at some point in the afternoon, she started driving north in Hutchinson's white Acura TL. She went past Bradenton, about 90 miles upstate. She drove all the way to Ocala. That was another 130 miles. And she checked into a Hilton that evening.
Okay.
Can you guess whose bank she went to make a $5,000 withdrawal?
Yeah, she went to her new friend's bank.
Yeah. She signs Hutchinson's name for 2 room service deliveries, paid with one of her credit cards, Hutchinson's, and she leaves the next morning. Shortly after 10:30 a.m., she used Hutchinson's card to make 3 withdrawals of $500 each at the Bank of America drive-up ATM in Ocala. And then she continued north, eventually turning west and crossing the state line. She headed for the Kusahata Casino Resort off State Highway 165.
She is on one.
She is going from casino to casino. There she won a $1,500 jackpot
okay.
on a $5 play.
Perfect.
That's a great return on your investment.
That's a great return.
So the woman used the driver's license and social security card to collect her winnings at 1:35 p.m. that belonged to Lois Riess.
Okay. That's a
So-
problem.
Let's not. This is not a smart criminal.
Yeah, that's a problem.
All right. On April 9th, Lori Russell was checking the units at the Marina Village for a possible water leak. There must have been leakage through the floor.
Yeah, that shit happens at hotels all the time.
Uh-huh. When she entered 404, there was a foul smell. So she figured it was sewage.
Oh, no.
You know, the source of the water problem.
Gross.
Still, something about the space seemed strange, so she asked 2 male guests outside to go back in with her. In the bathroom, the guests found a dead woman lying on the floor. A pillow perforated by a bullet was on top of her legs.
Shit.
The shot that killed her had sliced through the woman's lower left lung, her heart's right atrium and aorta, her esophagus, and her upper right lung. 22 caliber bullet was lodged in the right cup of her bra. The woman had collapsed while her stomach and intestines filled with blood. As the odor emanating from the condo indicated, she had been dead several days. Her toothbrush was in the sink where she must have dropped it as she was shot. Someone, presumably the killer, had covered her with a towel, stuffed more towels against a crack under the bedroom door so that it wouldn't, the smell wouldn't permeate.
Yeah.
Before leaving, they turned the thermostat down to 61 degrees.
Okay, all right.
And the group that found the body called 911 naturally,
good.
and they called her ex-husband in Virginia Beach. All right. And they interviewed the guests at the marina and her friends. They followed her credit card trail, which led them to surveillance videos at the Smoking Oyster, the Wells Fargo, the Ocala Hilton. And the same woman was in the footage. And she looked like Hutchinson, the right age, a similar hair color, same complexion and build.
Damn, this woman just like walked right into her life.
Yeah.
In the right place at the right time
Yes.
for her. That's fucked up.
It was Hutchinson, right? So the more surveillance video they watched, the more the other woman, the more they saw the other woman, right?
Yeah.
So it placed her at 404 at the time of the murder, and it showed the approach on the condo. It showed the walking by herself towards the 4th floor. She stayed in the landing area for 13 minutes, waiting, kind of distraught, a little bit of crying, and then she goes back into the condo. So I guess she like shot the girl. She was like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" Blah blah blah. But not for that long.
Right.
For 13 minutes.
Went back in, got her credit cards, got her cash, got a checkbook.
Yes.
See you
And
later.
she's seen coming back and forth, carrying stuff from an SUV into the
Jesus.
sedan, moving stuff around, right? So the evening before she was found murdered, a sergeant with the Lee County Sheriff's Office had come across a white Cadillac that was just like an Escalade that was just left abandoned. All right. He ran the registrations and he found that it belonged to Dave Riess. They didn't know that these 2 crimes were connected at the time. All right.
Right.
So a week before her body was found, Hutchinson's body was found, Tess Coster was cleaning the garage of one of her 5 rental units that she and her husband owned. This is in Fort Myers Beach.
Okay.
The rest of the year, they lived in Blooming Prairie, where they owned a car dealership.
Okay.
So that day, their daughter Brianna contacted them to say that a woman had come to the dealership identifying herself as a friend, and she said that she was going to be in the Fort Myers Beach area and wanted to visit the Costers. So she didn't think anything of it, so she gave the woman the address.
Fuck.
So then she shows up at the address, and the lady's there cleaning the garage, and she's like, recognizes her, and she's like, Lois? Because she recognizes her from
Her hometown. Yeah.
And Lois ducks her head and she's like, wrong house, and she keeps going.
Shit.
And she like drives away in her Escalade. Immediately, they had already put out the
APB.
Yeah. And so she knew that she'd been wanted in connection with the murder, right? So they called 911, her and her husband. And half an hour later, they show up, they question her, and they let her know that she's wanted on felony theft charges and for questioning in Dave's murder. So they figured that Tess spooked her off and she had gone, she was gone by then. So after discovering Hutchinson's body only 2 blocks away from the Costers, like this could have been them. She was probably there to like squat at their house or something,
definitely.
And the lady kind of looked like her a little bit. So they bring the lady in, the Tess, and they have her look at this video surveillance and like, yep, that's her.
Yeah.
That's Lois Riess,
Yeah.
So they go on this nationwide manhunt or woman hunt, right? So investigators compare notes and they're like, yep, there's a connection between Dave Riess and Pam Hutchinson's. Both were shot in a bathroom with a .22 caliber gun, and they were both covered with a blanket or a towel. You know, she didn't want to look at them after.
Very specific. Yeah.
Yes. The suspect took the money and, you know, they're left with their money and their vehicle.
Yeah.
She was not only responsible for killing her husband, she was also responsible for killing a stranger now, which made it a more urgent thing because now she was armed and dangerous. And they were worried that if she ran out of money, she would kill again. They set up a $5,000 reward for her capture, and Crime Stoppers offered an additional $1,000. Crime Stoppers of Florida, an additional $1,000.
Okay.
That they must be the richest company because Florida has so many criminals.
Right.
Good Lord.
Part of their taxes to donate to Crime Stoppers because
I guess, bro. Like, it's a lot. So they do this, like, you know, nationwide coverage of her, and they just want to bring in tips to get her in. So Lois's trail had gone cold until a camera spotted her Acura on the highway. I guess it must have been like, you know, the Easy Pass or whatever.
Right.
They take a picture of the license plate. So they had to alert Border Patrol because they were like, oh, she's heading south. Like, we need to let them know that she could obtain a passport,
border, yeah.
even though she didn't have an active passport.
Okay.
So at this time, South Padre, the news hadn't reached South Padre.
Okay.
Those people are too chill to, like, watch the news.
Right.
They're just vacationing. What the fuck are they watching the news for? Right? So the workers at Padre Rita and elsewhere on the island relied more on local sources for news and information, so they weren't in on the national news, right?
Yeah.
So this helped her blend in and hide in plain sight. And she was less than 30 miles from the Mexican border, and she was out there calling herself Donna. So Amanda Camacho, the Motel 6 clerk who had checked her in, later said she had transformed to look like an elderly lady. Like, she could look like an elderly lady or a hot chick, depending on, you know,
how she wore it.
Yeah. You know. For more than a week, Lois hung out South Padre, making friends, rubbing elbows, doing the thing.
Living that good life.
Then on April 17th, she meets Ron Mulholland at Padre Rita. The 76-year-old owned several condos on the island and stopped in for dinner at about 9 p.m. He sat near her at the bar. He chatted her up. He asked her to go to another karaoke bar. She accepted. They go away. They get together. They hang out.
Okay.
More people befriended her. They were like
starting a whole fucking life together?
I mean, yeah. There were other women like Pam Hutchinson's, middle-aged women, single, traveling alone. Like you a little
Give
bit.
it a rest.
One evening, she approached Bernadette Mathis, a 65-year-old court reporter. And she was sitting alone at Liam's Steakhouse and Oyster Bar, and they struck up a conversation. And after dinner, the women exchanged phone numbers. And Mathis didn't have many friends outside of work, so she was happy to be making a new one, especially since Lois was very, she was very friendly.
Yeah.
The next evening, they met for dinner, and Mathis didn't make it through the second drink. She was, like, very intoxicated. Uh-huh. So, suggesting that maybe somebody slipped or something. Uh-huh. And this was the bartender suggesting that. So, the next day, she remembered a fuzzy recollection of Lois coming back to her house, and they sat in the hot tub, and, like...
See, that's why I don't trust
she wouldn't have normally brought her over, maybe.
Yeah.
So, then the next day, they go to this country club, and...
the next day she was like, that was fun, I'll do it again?
Yes. And they have breakfast, they make plans, and they do all kinds of things. But then, like, it started to get weird. They met this other friend, Peggy Houlihan, who was, like, a performer at one of the clubs at one of the karaoke bars. And she was like, ooh, it felt like almost like they were in a relationship.
That's
like,
very weird.
Yeah, like sexual relationship. She felt weird. Almost like she was trying to isolate her.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Well, that's what you got to do if you want to rob them or kill them or whatever.
Yes. And it seemed like she was, like, prepping her for that.
Mm-hmm.
On April 19th, more than a week after she arrived on the island, Lois drove Hutchinson's Acura for a few miles down Padre Boulevard to Dirty Al's bar.
Perfect. She
asked to look at the menu, and she and the waiter chatted for a few minutes. Across the room, the manager, George Higginbotham, observed the conversation. He was like, that lady looks familiar. Where have I seen her before? Oh, that's right. I saw it on CBS this morning.
Oh, shit.
She's wanted for murder. He calls the police, and the police show up.
Is she still there?
Yeah. They notice that the white car is parked outside.
Okay.
They come and they arrest her. She complies, doesn't make a comment.
Okay, good.
They take DNA swabs from her, and they obtained warrants to search the Acura and the room 227 and the Motel 6. They find a map, a brochure from the Lucky Eagle Casino. They find pill bottles, piles of clothes, including the fedora that she was wearing in the video. So, yep, this is me. And they even find a little treasure, like a trophy.
Okay. A trophy and treasure are two different things.
Okay, a trophy.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know. Is it like is it a trophy or is it a treasure? Where the killers kill somebody and they take something.
That's a trophy.
Like a keepsake.
Yeah.
Can we meet in the middle?
Pirates have treasures. Killers have trophies.
Okay. Well, she took a trophy.
You want to keep it called a keepsake?
I want to meet you halfway. Call it a keepsake.
All right. Agreed.
We'll
change it for all of true crime.
Okay. She had a keepsake.
Everybody should get on board.
Yeah, get on board right now.
Yeah.
Because I say so.
We can bronze it and put it on a little shelf.
Yes. Although, if you did bronze it, who would know?
Who would know?
Right?
No one.
No one. It could literally be a trophy.
I mean, it would solve everyone's problem.
Okay, if you are a budding serial killer, just getting started, and you want to start taking these trophies, keepsakes,
yeah,
maybe bronze them and put the date on them.
Yeah. The location where you got it is good.
Some little code, but definitely the date. You want to
definitely the date. Maybe the person's name that you took it from.
No, never that. That would link you directly.
Oh, we're not trying to.
We're not trying.
We're trying to help people get away with crime. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. Reverse it.
Okay, they also found a black bag with bullets, a holster, some duct tape, rubber gloves.
Perfect. 2
handguns, and that Colt that her dad had given.
Yeah.
And a Smith & Wesson 9mm.
Perfect.
I mean, she was like
She didn't bronze anything.
She fucking... Oh, she also had lube plus condoms.
What the fuck?
Yes.
It's useful.
I mean...
It's unrelated maybe, but useful.
Completely unrelated. But she was trying to get smashed. Anyway. So, but it would stand to reason that she was not feeling even a little bad.
Absolutely.
So, she appears in court on December 17th, 2019 in Florida District Court. To avoid the death penalty, she admits to shooting Pam Hutchinson with a firearm and pleads guilty to first-degree murder. And she also pleads guilty to the theft and blah, 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 right? So she's sentenced to life in prison without parole. Then on August 11, 2020, after all these delays with the coronavirus and all that other stuff, she has a pre-trial hearing and the Dave Riess murder. And this takes place in the auditorium of a Minnesota high school.
The trial?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it can't accommodate, the courthouse can only accommodate a certain amount of people, and with social distancing, remember we talked about...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, remember we talked about how weird, the whole court system is since COVID and all that? Well, they had 50 people there, including family members, reporters.
Wow, I thought you were going to be like, all these people wanted to see the trial.
No,
this is a COVID
it was just
thing.
people that needed to be
Holy
there.
shit, that's interesting. Cool.
Witnesses and people that were...
Okay, we're making it work.
Yeah.
We're making it work.
So they're sitting up on stage. It's like the weirdest thing. All the pictures are online. They're sitting up on stage.
Yeah.
Almost like in a production of fucking Grease.
Amazing.
Or some shit, But it's a trial.
I love it.
And the people affected, the family and everything else, are sitting in the audience, socially distancing, and everybody's wearing a mask and all that. So there, she recounts how she killed Dave. Because, she claims, she's saying she's guilty.
Yeah, she's just going for it.
She doesn't want the death penalty. So she says that on Sunday, March 11th, after she and Dave had attended their grandson's basketball game in Wisconsin, she wanted to stay with her family, but Dave wanted to leave. So they left, and they argued on the drive home, and they continued to argue in their bedroom. According to Lois, Dave took a loaded handgun out of the dresser and offered it to her and said, why don't you just kill yourself? Maybe you'll get it right this time.
Jesus.
Yep. Instead,
But this is her
version of it, and she's a
story.
sociopath, clearly. Instead, she took the gun, aimed it at her husband's chest, and fired twice.
Problem solved.
Then she laid down next to him.
Oh, that's weird.
The judge issued a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of release, and this is where she now lives.
Shit.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yep.
All over money, though?
All over money.
That's kind of dumb.
Isn't it?
That's really dumb.
I mean, she said, like, she addressed the court, and, well, she addressed her family, and she was all
Oh, her
like...
poor family.
Yeah, she was all like, I have the worst punishment of all because I get to live with the guilt of killing him.
Oh, what a
And I miss him
narcissist.
every day.
Oh, shut up.
And I'm like, no, bitch. Like, you were literally at a bar trying to pick up a young bartender.
Killing somebody else. Yeah, get out of here.
and killed somebody else and, like, was grooming somebody else to be killed.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, she's a sicko.
Yeah, she is.
Wow.
Yep. And during the whole, like, manhunt or woman hunt, they called her Losing Streak Lois.
No.
Yeah, that
they
was
just
her.
rubbed that shit in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure she loved that.
I guess. But could you imagine being her grandkids, bro?
No. Especially the kid that they were at his basketball game. Like,
They're
it sucks.
fucking Nana.
Yeah.
Like, how would you feel if your Nana went
Don't even
on a
talk about
shooting
my
spree?
Nana.
Like,
She would never.
I mean, but think about it. Dude.
Makes me so sad.
Is that crazy or what?
Not Nana.
Yes, Nana was a Rolling Stone.
Nana, no. That's wild. Do you want to take a break?
Yes.
All right. Guten Tag. While we wait for Cindy to make us dessert, maybe a streusel, she take a long time. Take a minute, check out our friends. When you're done listening to us, go check them out.
I'm Dawn. And I'm Cole. And Scottish Murders is a true crime podcast dedicated to people from or living in Scotland.
Just like anywhere else in the world, these murders can be truly horrific and shocking, and we want to shine more light upon them.
Join us every 2 weeks on Scottish Murders, where we'll bring you cases both solved and unsolved, giving you an insight into the other side of bonnie Scotland.
Find us wherever you stream your podcasts, as well as on social media.
Join us there. Bye!
And we're back. What is it? Chocolate cake?
Chocolate cake.
That is great. He gives us a chocolate cake. It's
What's
so
that
good.
from?
It's a Bill Cosby thing. That's terrible.
Go ahead.
but-
Okay. Wow.
Chocolate cake? Why are we eating chocolate cake?
With no ice cream. I mean,
Because it's
I'm
fucking
sorry.
vegan or something.
It's not vegan.
it
Okay.
better not be vegan.
Is it like fucking...
I made
what's
it
the
with
trickery?
love. I made it with love.
I don't trust you now that you made us eat bison.
Oh, that's right.
If there was fucking vegetables in here, I'm gonna be really mad. There's vegetables in there, bitch.
Wait. Yo, this is rich as hell. It's really good.
What is it?
She's laughing. If this is a dookie cake, I'm going to be mad.
I would never do that. I would never, never, ever. I really gotta hate you for that.
What is it?
Zucchini.
Zucchini.
Fuck.
Zucchini. She stuck a vegetable in here.
Dude, no way.
It's very rich.
There's no way this is zucchini.
It's very rich.
There's no fucking way.
I believe it.
I've made zucchini bread. Zucchini chocolate bread.
Oh.
I used to have a garden club at the school.
Jesus Christ.
And we used to, like, harvest, and we would make, like, a big feast for the whole school.
Yeah.
It was, like, a really nice thing. I would apply for grants and everything. I'm not a piece of shit human.
No one ever claimed that.
Dude, this is good.
It's got chocolate chips in it.
Holy shit. It's super chocolatey.
What do you think about vegetables in your dessert?
That was some tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery. I love this.
It was delicious. I thought it was straight up Duncan Hines, full of fudge.
Yeah.
I've made zucchini chocolate cake before.
Okay.
Certainly didn't taste like that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Cindy must have liquefied it. Or, like, what was your magic? What was your fucking witchery?
Believe it or not, I just shredded it, and I actually, Nydia liked to say, you must have used very little. I actually used 2 full cups of zucchini.
Wow.
A little over two cups of zucchini.
And that's what, like, really keeps it moist, right?
Right. So there's no water or anything in this.
Wow.
What actually made it very moist was the zucchini.
Yeah, it's really good.
The liquid from the zucchini.
The
Very
top's
rich.
got, like, a little icing on it.
Oh, that was really creamy ass icing.
Was that Duncan Hines?
That was I made that also from scratch.
Wow.
Damn, she makes some good ass icing.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
I thought that was delicious. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, ladies.
Yes. I thought she was gonna trick us with some other shit. But that was excellent.
Good. Now, do you ladies want to know how to avoid identity theft?
In the beginning of the podcast, I said I keep my credit
terrible
cards
credit.
jacked.
Yeah, it's
up.
great.
And you have terrible credit.
Terrible credit.
So, come at me, bro.
Yeah, exclusively make no money. It's fine.
Yeah. Be completely poor.
Perfect.
That's my financial
No one wants
advice.
to steal their identity.
Right.
Apparently.
You got some better tips?
I've got some better tips.
All right, let's hear it.
From usnews.com, it says, how to prevent identity theft, 10 tips.
All right.
First tip is freeze your credit.
Mine is frozen. I can't. Nobody will lend
Mine's
me
been
anymore.
frozen for 7 years.
You can actually
Checkmate.
Checkmate.
So you can freeze your credit where not even you can apply for anything. So if somebody steals your social security number, all of that, it actually freezes your social security number. Nobody has access to.
Wow.
Can you
do
turn that
anything.
on and off?
There's full instructions in this.
What?
So
Are you gonna link it?
I'm linking it. I'm adding it in.
I didn't know you
so
could do that.
I didn't either.
You can mail in. You have mail-in options, telephone options, and online options on how to freeze your credit, and you provide a PIN or passcode to freeze it or unfreeze it. As
That
you
makes
need it.
sense. Because, if you're not applying for anything, why have,
It won't impact your credit score, so it freezes your credit score as well.
Nice.
Interesting.
Okay.
So-
Interesting.
One of the things they did mention, they said it's a great idea if you choose to do that for your kids. Because people steal children's identities
Yes,
and
they
use their
do.
stuff.
I know somebody that did that.
Yeah, yes, they do. I think one of my kids had their social security number, stolen or something. We went to go claim them on our taxes, and they were like, oh, somebody already claimed them. And I'm like, the fuck they did, because that's my kid.
Yeah. I know somebody whose parent used their social security number to open bills and credit cards and stuff when their kids were small.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
I know people like that
That's so
too.
sad.
Yeah, that's fucked
Yeah.
up.
So if you're a good parent, freeze the kids' credit.
Yeah, right.
And that way it saves them a lot of headaches in the future, and nobody's opening up shit for them.
Smart.
Collect mail daily.
I literally have a pile of mail that I just brought in today because I ordered a bunch of stuff from Facebook. Well, anyways, no one's talking to you.
Dana's mailbox is falling over from
Fucking
weight.
exploded with packages and stuff.
By the way, any of you podcasters, I usually have your mail come into my house instead of Dana's.
Yeah, don't send that shit here. I'm not going to check the mail.
That's the
It's
abyss.
all the way at the end of the driveway.
It's like
so hard.
it's like 10 feet.
So hard.
It's the other direction from my front door. I'm not going that way.
Third is review your credit card or bank statements on a regular basis. Don't just assume everything's fine.
Someone can just have my identity. I'm over it. I don't want to do it.
I do that.
I check mine on a weekly basis.
Well, only because I have my bills come automatically out of my account every month because I hate paying bills or opening bills or anything like that. So what I do is I say, okay, I'm comfortable with paying this amount of water every month, and it's usually more than the amount that I owe. And then what ends up happening is I get used to paying all this money for bills, but then I moved from my last house, and the gas company was like, ma'am, we're holding almost $4,000 of your
Jesus
overpayments.
Christ, are you okay?
It was fucking a landfill. All of my companies, all of the utilities, the cable company, they owed me thousands of dollars that I overpaid.
Sorry.
But I set a budget for myself, and I was like, okay, I'm comfortable paying this, so I would just automatically send it. So it's like kind of I'm giving them a free loan. It was bad. It was bad.
Go on. I'm done with this conversation.
Staring at her like,
I comb through my bills because of that.
Good. Okay, good.
For shred your paperwork.
I don't do that. No.
Shred that shit.
Okay.
Shred it.
That feels like
everybody
paranoia.
go out and buy a shredder.
Create. Oh, here's where everybody fails. Create different passwords.
Oh my God.
This is a lot of work.
But then how are you going to remember all of them?
Don't write them down anywhere either. You definitely have to memorize them by fucking your
They
picture
say
memory.
at least, they recommend, one of the people from the FBI says 15 characters.
Get the fuck out of here.
So one of my friends who's in IT has said to me to use a phrase, like a sentence you would know, and just use that instead. Make a phrase and use a full-on phrase.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a problem with the bank, and I got mad one day because like I had to reset my password, and I did something like fuck all the way off, like something like that. It was like some really vicious curse word, and then I had to call the bank and like and she was like, the bank teller was like, I guess they could see it on their end or something. It wasn't a password. It was a secret word.
Like a passcode,
like a secret word that you give them for them to change your password. Yeah. And she was like, what's your secret password or whatever? And I was like, fuck all the way off or something.
You're like, listen, I was in a weird headspace.
Yeah. I was just like, it was your fault. You guys are freaking the worst. She did not find that funny at all.
No, definitely not.
Pull your annual credit reports.
That I don't do.
I do that. Only because...
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like constantly being like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to buy a house. Doing stupid shit.
I don't do that. I haven't done that in years. And it's free. Did you guys know that?
Yes,
yeah.
it's free.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes.
Install antivirus software.
Nah, man. I'm always getting like McAfee stupid shit.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have a MacBook. Relax. There ain't no McAfee over here.
2-factor authentication.
Okay.
On devices and accounts.
I do have
I
that
have
because
that too,
Apple
yeah.
makes you do it.
On certain things, I have it. Wipe electronics before donating them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a given. I have too many naked pictures on my phone.
Definitely. Definitely.
I really don't.
Sure. And final tip is opt out of pre-screened credit card offers, which I didn't know you can opt out of that shit.
What do you mean?
So, like, you get a credit card offer in the mail that says pre-approved.
Yeah.
You can, according to this, you can actually opt out of that shit.
I haven't gotten that in a long time, and I thought that they did away with it. I haven't gotten those.
Them.
I have like, my credit score is in the 800s, and I haven't gotten one of those
Yeah, they
in a
probably
long
don't think you
time.
need it anymore or something.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah, because I used to not get them, and then I get them now that I'm divorced.
that's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get them all the time.
I haven't gotten them in years.
Yeah.
And I'm over 800 credit score. Too.
Yeah, I haven't gotten them in years.
No. Remember, your credit score is 0.
Shut up.
Yeah. That's my credit score, babe. I never remember my password anymore because everything's just my fingerprint.
Yeah, that's
So then,
true,
like,
yeah.
when my fingerprint's not working, and it's like, you've been signed out for missed fingerprint, and then I'm like, well, I don't know the fucking password now, and then I have to reset the password, redo my fingerprint. It's just such...
It's a whole
technology
thing.
is just a mess.
It's a whole thing.
Me and my first world problems.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We needed that information.
We're the richer for it.
Yeah.
I think, I have a feeling that we gave bad advice in the beginning of this podcast.
Definitely never listen to anything we're saying. Like, ever at all.
Listen to Cindy,
Cindy,
though.
maybe, but... Okay. I heard this story
Yeah.
on another podcast called Strictly Stalking. I've talked about this podcast before.
Okay, yeah.
The story just fucking blew me away.
Okay.
And I was like, Well, we have to build an episode around this because you chicken heads need to hear this fucking story.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
So I sent you pictures, so you know. So the main person who was on the episode is Dave.
Okay.
So that's the main guy.
Okay.
And then there's 3 women involved.
Yes, I see an Amy, a Liz, and a
Cari.
Okay.
Okay. So the premise of the show, Strictly Stalking, and that's where I got most of my information from. It's his actual story, his words, he's telling a story. He's also been on Dateline and Scorn.
He's the victim.
Yes.
Okay.
He's been on, 2020. He's been on everything, all of it.
He's run the circuit.
Absolutely. I also got my information from mamamia.com and abcnews.go.com and a YouTube video, which was not really about the crime. I guess it was sort of, but it's a guy, a psychiatrist or psychologist, who is not diagnosing criminals, but he is analyzing crimes and then saying what he thinks maybe is going on, which I found very interesting. So I'm going to link his YouTube channel to this because he analyzes this case, and he's so like very dry, and he's like wearing a sweater, and he's really like this weird like buttoned up doctor guy, but then he like clearly is like writing in little jokes that are like kind of funny, but like not really, because he's just reading them, and it's just like very dry.
I love it more now.
Funny because I was like, okay, I guess it was kind of funny what he said.
I love it more now.
So weird. So anyway, this guy comes on the show and he like tells his story. So I'm just gonna like tell you his story and see if you can figure out what's happening here.
Okay.
Dave Kropa.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave Kropa had been in a long-term relationship with Amy Flora for over a decade. Amy and Dave have 2 kids together, and they love each other. Dave is a good dad, but he's not the kind of guy who wants to get married. He just
wants to have kids, but
he just was in a relationship with her. They end up having kids. He stayed with her, but he doesn't want to get married. He doesn't feel like that's part of his play. He just doesn't want to. Okay, like that's just it's his jam. He does not want to. So, Amy eventually is like, well, I really want to get married. I want to make our family official. And he's like, not going to happen. Not going to get married. I'm really sorry. I just don't want to. Maybe his parents had terrible, I don't know. He doesn't really ever say why. This is, mind you, okay, when you listen to this guy talk, he is the most very like chill talking, like very, just like not very emotional, like just very like the wife, Amy, or it's not his wife, his long-term girl, his children's mother, when she talks about him on like the 2020 episode or whatever it was, she's like, he's emotionless. And he is. He's just very like,
wow.
I don't want to get married. It is what it is. Sorry if that's what you wanted. It's never what I wanted. So Amy's like...
He shot 2 kids out of his penis. Like, you're already as married as you're going to be.
He just doesn't want to be.
Okay.
And he was committed to her. Like, they were monogamous, but he just didn't want to be married. So Amy eventually is like, listen, I want to get married. And he's like, not going to happen. So they break up. Amy moves the 2 kids and herself to Omaha, Nebraska to be nearer to family. And Dave follows because he doesn't want to be apart from his children. He loves his kids. He wants to be near them.
Right.
He just doesn't want to be married. When he gets to Omaha, he manages an auto repair shop.
Okay.
And he doesn't know anybody in the area besides his ex, who he's still really friendly with and spends time with his kids every week. But he needs his own circle of friends. So he joins some online dating sites. He's very clear on the dating sites that he is not want to be in an exclusive relationship or he's not getting married. Mm-hmm. He's very clear about that. Maybe he wasn't clear about it with Amy and they got too far, and he just doesn't want to have that same problem again. So when he starts dating new women, he's right off the bat, I'm not going to get married.
Right.
If this is not what you want, that's fine. Keep it moving.
But maybe get a vasectomy.
He did. He does. Yeah. One of the first people he dates is Shanna Goyer, who goes by Liz.
Okay.
Her name is Shanna Elizabeth Goyer, but she goes by Liz. Liz seems really cool and chill. She also has 2 kids. She says she just got out of a rocky relationship. She really isn't looking for anything serious, too. So she's like, about it. She's like, perfect. They hang out. They seem to get along. And they have a nice time with each other. After a while, he says that Liz, says to him, maybe we can take it to the next level. And Dave is like, emphatically, no.
Right.
We're not moving in together. I just got out of this 11, 12-year relationship. No, I'm not moving in together. I was really clear about that. He's clear about his boundaries, and he understands if this is not what people want, but it is what it is, which may seem kind of cold, and he does come off as kind of cold when you see him in interviews and you hear him on the podcast. Ultimately, it's pretty kind to be very clear about what you're willing to give someone. Yeah. So Dave continues to date other people, and Liz seems to do the same. One day he's at work, and Cari Farver comes in, and she needs something done with her Ford Explorer. So now you've met all the players.
Okay. So
he thinks she's really cute. There seems to be like some sparks flying, but he doesn't think it's appropriate for him to hit on customers.
Right.
So he keeps it moving. As fate would have it, he sees Cari on a dating site a couple of weeks later, and he messages her, and he's like, hey, I know you from the shop. And she's like, oh my God, that's so funny. Yada, yada, yada. But like, nothing really comes of it. Fortunately for Dave, Cari's car still needs some help, so she brings the car back into the shop. It must have been making noise or something. He comes out to the car to check it out, which he says that this happens all the time. It's not uncommon for him to go out to anyone's car to be like, yeah, it's making this noise, let's do it, whatever. Yeah. So anyway, he checks out the car, and he like explains how like she's standing in the door of the car and the door is open, and they're very like close in proximity to each other. And like there was definitely like a spark there. So he was like, I didn't want to let that pass up. So we exchanged numbers and we decided to go on a date.
Oh, so he forewent the whole I'm not going to flirt with customers?
Right, yeah. So they decide to make plans. They go to Applebee's, and dinner is successful. The conversation is easy, and they're having so much fun, and they're very like attracted to each other. Okay. Very like sexual tension.
Right. Okay? She's a cutie pie.
She's
and
cute.
He's cute too.
Yeah.
I mean, in his own.
Yeah. He's like a Midwestern white dude. Yeah. Dinner is so successful that he doesn't realize that his phone has been blowing up. I guess it was down or off or whatever.
Right.
His phone is like just going crazy. And he realizes it's from calls from Liz. So Liz is like, I have stuff at your house. I need to get it. And he's like, well, I'm on a date. Can you get it later? And she's like, not really. I kind of like need my things, whatever. So after Applebee's, he asks Cari to come back to his house, see how things go. When they pull up to his house, Liz is standing outside.
Oh, shit.
And she wants her stuff. So Cari's like, listen, this is a lot. So if you get done dealing with this, come back over to my house maybe later tonight.
Oh, for like...
If you want.
A cheese platter.
Yeah. A little coffee, a nightcap, something. Yeah. So he's like, okay, I'll see what happens, whatever. Liz and Dave have a huge argument. Dave's like, what the fuck?
And you knew what this was?
Yeah, and he's like, I was on a date. He's been on other dates with many other women, so like he didn't know why she was like flipping out.
Okay.
He tells her, keep dating as many people as you want. I'm going to keep dating as many people as I want. If you don't like this, like, that's fine. Just keep it moving. She leaves in a huff and doesn't take any of her things. She just, like, leaves. She's all pissed off. So as soon as Liz is gone, he hops in his car, hightails it over to Cari's house, and spends the night with her.
Oh, shit.
So she tells him that she has a teenage son. His name is Max. That Max is her first priority.
Right.
Dating is her second. Definitely takes a backseat to her son. She's, like, very...
Like me.
Yeah, like really into her kid's life. She goes to all his games. She goes to all his school stuff.
Right.
She's like a good mom. She had like had him sort of young. She like put herself through computer school. She's like really, really smart. One podcast said she had like 155 IQ. Like she's a very smart computer programmer. She's a very smart woman and has a really good job. So he's like, jackpot. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I don't want commitment either. This is great. Whatever. So Cari lives about an hour away from Dave.
Okay.
But she works right around the corner from his house. So that's why she goes to the mechanic near there because her job is right there. So she'll drop her car off in the morning, go to work, whatever. So she has, like I said, she's a computer programmer. She has this really good job. And she's in the middle of a large project that is causing her tons of stress. And Dave says to her, if you want, you can spend some nights at my house so you don't have to, like, go back and forth because it's an hour drive there, an hour drive back. And she works a lot from home on the computer, so, like, it was convenient for her to stay there.
Wow, so he really changed his rules.
It's not, like, a commitment thing. It's just, like, it was convenient. Plus, they were really enjoying each other's company. You know, she was really chill and laid back. And he did sort of seem like maybe something was there. But, like, he also was very, even still to today, was like, It was not a commitment. We were not making a commitment.
Right.
But it was convenient. They liked each other's company. That's it, and that's all. For 2 weeks, she is spending the nights at his house, except the nights that he has his kids. She goes home. You know, he doesn't want her to meet his kids. You know, it's only been 2 weeks. They spend something like 10 of the 14 days together, which is a lot for someone who's like...
For somebody who doesn't want a commitment.
Right. So on November 13th, 2012, they get up for work. He kisses her goodbye, and they sort of joke like, oh, like, see you later, honey. Like, just, you know, like this cute little thing. And he goes off to work. She has all her computer stuff out, but she has a big meeting later that day. So she's doing some work to get prepped for this meeting, and then she's going to leave.
Okay.
So it's a really busy day for Dave at the shop. And around 10:30, he gets a text from Cari saying something like, what do you think about us moving in together? And Dave's like, this was really odd because it did sort of come up. Like, would it be easier to live here because of her job? But, like, she had a really great job and, like, a way nicer house than him. So, like, it didn't make sense for her to live there because she had a beautiful house. It just happened to be an hour away.
Okay.
So, like, if they were to live together, like, they probably would have moved into her. And he was just like, no. Like,
right. And why would she want to uproot her kid to another school?
Right. An hour away.
Right.
Right. So he just like finds the whole thing so odd because like, we just talked about this and we both decided like that would be a no. So he just answers her back, no. A fucking flip switched. Nope. A fucking... Anyway. So she flips.
A switch flipped.
That's what happened. And she's like, I hate you. I'm dating someone else. I don't want to see you anymore. Fine, go away. She just totally snaps. And he's like,
I'm confused.
Okay, see you later then? Like, whatever. So he goes home on his lunch break to check his house and all her things are gone. His house seems to be in order. And he's like, very confused by the whole situation because she seemed up to that point like really chill. But this seems to be like this fucking running theme for this guy. Like he gets these women, they seem fine with no commitment, then all of a sudden they want commitment and he's like, what the fuck? Like, can't I just like find a girl that really genuinely doesn't want to be committed? Maybe not.
Yeah, this is weird though.
Yeah, so he's like really relieved. He's like, maybe I just dodged a bullet. I'm glad she showed me how
she really
wild she is right off the bat.
Right.
Fuck her. Who cares? The problem is he doesn't really dodge a bullet because Cari begins a full-on assault of texting him, emailing him, around the clock telling him what a piece of shit he is, how he ruined her life, just like wild things, just out of nowhere.
I think I know.
This goes on for days, and he's considering going to the police because it's like getting kind of wild. So he's really shocked to find out. He's really shocked when he's at work one day and a few police officers show up to question him about Cari's whereabouts.
No!
So he's like, she's out of her mind. He shows them her text message. She's like, she's been texting me for days. It's really been very strange. You know, she seems so nice. I don't know what happened. And the cops are like, okay, well, maybe this is like a little domestic thing. And she just like went off the deep end because you turned her down and whatever. So they seem like a little more relaxed about it.
Right.
Because I guess they went there thinking like, what this fucking guy to do? Or he was the last one that's seen her. So
oh my God.
He's like, yeah, I don't know. And they're like, well, if you see her, call us. So at least we know whatever she's doing, even if she's stalking you or not, like that we're clear that she's doing it on her own free will.
Right.
Because she hasn't come home in a couple of days.
What the fuck?
Meanwhile, her family had been getting text messages starting November 13th, the day that Dave turns her down, saying that she got another job in Kansas and can her son stay with her parents because she's going to take this job. She's not feeling well and she just needs a break and, you know, whatever.
How old was her son?
He was like in high school.
Oh, okay.
Like 15. Her family did know that she had a job interview in Kansas and she had talked to her son and her parents about him staying there just so he wouldn't have to change school districts if she would have chose to take that job. But this was like really abrupt. It's just out of character, you know?
Yeah.
So years ago, Cari had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and there had been times where she would take off for a couple of days just to clear her head, but this was like really bad timing. Her stepbrother was getting married in about a week, and it would have been one of the family's last family functions together because her father had been diagnosed with a terminal illness. She would not have missed this wedding, And she also was really close with her dad. So even if she was having like a bad time mentally and was offered her dream job, she wouldn't have let, her dad die without leaving and saying goodbye or like being there for him in his dying days. She was also in the middle of planning her best friend's baby shower. Okay. That she was like helping to plan and throw. And so she doesn't show up for that. She doesn't show up for the wedding. This is just like...
How long was she missing?
Well, we'll get into that.
Oh, wow.
But this is like within the first few weeks of her being missing. It just did, none of it made sense. But she's an adult, and the rejection seemed to really set her off. The cops told Dave there was nothing really they could do for him because she hadn't really done anything wrong except she was being annoying. But like, stalking laws being what they are and harassment being what it is, until something physical happens, it's really hard to like stop it from happening. So he just is like dealing with it. It's like he was saying on one of the podcasts I listened to that like, and maybe even on that Dateline thing, like it was like your cup of coffee in the morning. Like you knew you were going to wake up and have coffee. Right. You knew you were going to wake up to text messages and emails, and that was it. It was just, sometimes it would be 10 messages a day. Sometimes it would be hundreds.
And the police and the family weren't following up? Like, where
I mean, the family was, definitely. And we're like, she's missing. And the police were just like, yeah, I mean, there's no evidence to say that she is.
That's
Even
bullshit.
though her bank account does not change at all. She stopped showing up to work. She never calls her job. But she was making posts on Facebook. She was, texting everybody. She was texting him. She was, things were happening. So it was like, it doesn't seem like she's really missing. So like, it does seem like she is having a mental break. And also she's saying things that only she would know, that she had this job interview in Kansas. Right. Okay. So like, it's not good. Right. But it's also, what is anybody really supposed to do?
Right, exactly. She's so pretty. I keep looking at her.
Yeah. After some time, all this starts with Cari. Liz calls Dave, and she's like, listen, I'm sorry I flipped out, but I do need my stuff from your house. So, like, can I come get it? And he's like, I don't really feel comfortable with you coming to my house because of the way you acted, but I'll drop it off to you. Mm-hmm. So he goes over to her house, drops her stuff off. Well, this fucking incites Cari because clearly she's been, like, watching him. So now she starts texting and emailing Liz, flipping out, like, stay away from my man.
How does...
I guess she, like, figures it out through Facebook or social media or something. Okay. Liz starts receiving emails with threats and images out of the outside of her home where her kids, like, with her kids in the backyard. And, like, it's scary. It's terrifying. Then people from Dave's Facebook page, friends from high school, his cousins, his parents, his siblings, just anybody that was connected with him at all, were getting messages, stay away from my man, pictures of their homes, just what wild things were happening, to the point that he was so embarrassed he just like cut off all of his social media, because it was like, he's like, I haven't talked to these people since I was in high school. And they're like messaging them being like, stay away from my man. And they're like, he's like, they live states away with 10 kids. And like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he like deletes all of his social media. He's still on dating apps. And he realizes somebody made a fake profile with his image and was going on and being like, I'm married, I'm a cheater. And like, I have every STI under the sun. Like, don't sleep with me because I'm this and just like, he's
and Cari's tech savvy, so...
Yeah, she's a computer programmer, right? So, like, systematically, like, taking all his friends away. Right. Taking all his dating situation away. Just, like, really tormenting this guy. And anybody who is associated with him. Uh-huh. So...
I'm guessing.
So, he ends up deleting the dating apps as well. Sometime after this, there's a snowstorm. And a few days later, after all the cars are cleaned off, there's still one car in the apartment parking lot that's covered in like a couple inches of snow because it's been sitting there since before the snowstorm. He thinks that's odd and he goes and checks it out. And he realizes
what apartment complex?
Where Dave lives, yeah. Oh. He thinks it's really odd, so he goes and checks it out. And it's fucking Cari's Ford Explorer. So he calls the cops and he's like, shit. Cari's Ford Explorer is outside of my house and it must have been sitting here because it's got like all this snow on it. So police come, they take it, it's totally spotless, there's not even any fingerprints in there. There's actually only one fingerprint and it's on like a package of gum, which they run through the FBI fingerprint database, and nada, then things start to really ramp up. Liz's car gets keyed, and it's like huge scratches all over her car. So does Dave's. Dave's like car was like, it says like Liz is a whore on the side of Dave's car, like crazy things. Windows get broken in their homes. A window's broken in Dave's home, and someone climbs in the window, cuts up his couch, scratches his TV like in a big X, writes Liz is a whore in lipstick on the wall. They love saying Liz is a whore. Like they said, the amount of times I heard Liz is a whore in the last week when I've been doing this article has just been crazy. Whore Liz, whore Liz, whore Liz. It's just been nuts.
Okay.
So he's like with Liz, and they like, I don't know, it was like near Thanksgiving.
He's still dating Liz.
He's still dating many women.
Oh, okay.
Casually going on dates and like making friends and like, making friends at work with like people. He's just like new to the area and like meeting new people. So like it would be really weird to just like pick one person to like, just like assault, just the whole thing is just very strange.
Right.
Liz's garage is spray painted with the word whore all over. Like the doors were open. It says whore on the inside of her garage. Dave goes to work one morning.
On the inside of her garage?
Yeah, like the garage door was open and inside on the walls said whore.
Huh.
Dave goes to work one morning and, like at a auto mechanic shop, like a Pep Boys. I don't know where they work, but that's what I'm assuming. Like that, like where they have like a bunch of bays of cars.
Right.
All of the doors said like Liz is a whore, like spray painted outside on the thing. So him and his coworkers like cleaned it off real quick before the owners got there, because he's like, what the fuck? I would lose my job over that.
Right. Yeah.
Mind you, like the cops have come there and like just craziness, So
there's a missing client now.
Yeah, right, exactly. Dave realizes during one of these break-ins that his gun is missing.
No.
So he
had a gun at work?
No, from his home.
Oh.
Like one of the break-ins of his home. So there was like all these break-ins where like windows would be kicked out, whatever.
Shit.
So he was like a very responsible gun owner. Like he had a gun and it was in a box and it was like on the top of a closet all the way pushed back. He said like at his height, he couldn't see where the gun was.
Right.
So it was like pushed all the way back. He like opened his closet door one day and the box was like pulled forward. So he knew somebody had been like touching it.
Shit.
He opens the box, the gun is gone.
Did he report that to the police?
He did. And he's like one of those gun owners that like had the serial number and all the information. So he was able to like report it stolen, and which is a very good thing. He's like really pissed, but like a very chill guy. And he just like does not react to this, which is like the only way to deal with a stalker is to really ignore it. Like, it's the best way. Of course, like, report it. It's, like, the biggest thing they say on the show. But it's very good to like, not engage with them. Because a lot of times they'll get bored and walk away if you don't, like, give them what they're looking for.
Right.
This was not that. Like, he did not engage with her. And she would incessantly text him, emails, crazy. It wouldn't stop.
I'm going to write a name on a little piece of paper and I'm going to slide it across the table for you.
In the end, this sort of pushes Liz and Dave together because they're both sort of commiserating.
Yes, they're both
being victims, yeah.
Yes.
So
poor Liz, the whore.
Liz and Dave would be sitting on the couch together in Dave's house, and both of their phones would just start exploding at the same time. With text message. I see you sitting there with her. She's such a whore. How are you sitting there with her?
Right.
You're supposed to be in love with me. Just wild things. So, like...
Was she omnipresent? Like, that she could see them?
He would, like, run outside and look for her, and, like, he never would find her. He couldn't figure it out. And my understanding was, like, he lived in an apartment complex, so, like, she could have been watching him from anywhere,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like a telescope or whatever.
Yeah, in a car. Now he doesn't know what kind of car she has because she's not in a Ford Explorer.
Because she ditched her Ford Explorer. Because this is the level of fucking savvy
on another level, yeah. Dave still has a relationship with his kids and his ex, of course, and this starts also pissing Cari off. So...
Wait, Cari?
Cari. Yeah, the one who's stalking him.
Oh, okay, yeah, because he still has a relationship with his wife, Amy.
So it was never his wife because he never got married
not
to
his
her.
wife, the baby mama.
Yes, Amy, yeah. So Amy starts receiving messages from Cari. Leave my man alone. And she's like, dude, I had him for a decade. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, he's yours now.
Have
it's
at
your
it.
Fucking problem.
Yeah, but Amy is way less chill than Liz has been for the last 3 years.
Tell me about this Amy.
So Amy is like particularly upset because Cari is threatening to slit their children's throats.
Oh no.
And he's...
Look, Cindy woke up.
She's getting pictures of the kids outside of her home.
What?
Yeah. So Amy's like, bro, get this shit under control and away from our kids. This is crazy.
She's saying that to him.
Yeah. She's like, this is fucked up. And, Liz has just been dealing with it for 3 years. And she's like, it's fine.
This has been going on for 3 years?
3 years.
No, Dana.
Yes, yeah.
So, fucking Cari has just been missing for 3 years?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, she missed her son's graduation. We'll get into all of that.
My heart hurts for him.
Yeah. Amy's like, what the fuck? I never even met this girl. And Liz is like, what the fuck? I only met her for 10 seconds. And Dave is like, what the fuck? I only know her for 2 weeks. So, like...
Right.
I don't know. I can't make her stop. Like, she's been doing this shit for years. So...
Dude.
Now things start...
And her family is not like...
They are, yeah, but the cops are like...
They're getting nowhere.
Yeah, the cops are like...
Fuck the cops that ignored this.
They're just like, what do you want us to do? Like, clearly she's bipolar and on another level. Like, they just really didn't...
Oh, man, that's not cool.
So now things start to ramp up even more. Liz starts getting texts from Cari saying, I hope your kids die. I hope they burn in a fire. And then on August 23rd, Dave gets a call from Liz at work. And Liz is screaming. There's sirens in the background. She's like, my house is burning down. My house is burning down. Dave's like, what are you fucking talking about? He hears the fire. He hears the alarms. So he doesn't like rush off to be with her. But, on his lunch break, he goes over to where where her house is. And her house is burning down. Liz's house is burning down.
He waited for the lunch break?
He's very unconcerned with, like, anybody's shit outside of his, like, he, like, dealt with whatever he was dealing with and then, like, went over there. And her house was burning down. It doesn't burn down when it's, like, destroyed because of smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if inhalation is the word, but smoke damage, whatever.
I imagine a house going... it's the black lung, Dad.
Liz and her children are safe, but their 2 dogs, their cat, and their pet snake die in the fire.
But her kids are safe.
Her kids are fine, and Liz is fine.
Wait, so, what did she kill what was killed in the process?
2 dogs, a cat, and a snake.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yes. There are signs of arson, and Liz and Dave tell the police, Cari's been stalking us for 3 years. Here's the phone messages. Will someone finally do something? Like, her house has been burned down.
How old are Liz's kids?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I'm not sure. So Liz moves in with a guy that she's been dating besides Dave. She had been sort of dating this other guy. And she moves in with him to, like, get her shit together because the house got burned down. And she tells Dave she doesn't want to tell him where she's living because she doesn't feel safe anymore. Because now her house has been burned down. He's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Like, definitely don't tell me where you live. And, like, I'll catch you on the flip side, I guess, whenever we see each other again. Cari is seemingly ruining every relationship in Dave's life.
Right.
The strange thing is, in all of these 3 years, Cari's been harassing Dave and Liz and everybody in Dave's family. Cari's family almost hears nothing from her.
What do you mean, almost hears
Like,
nothing?
she'll post things on Facebook, and she'll say, like
little fakeries?
She had said, like, she wanted her son to come live with him in Kansas, and he was like, I'm not coming to Kansas, come home. And she, like, made this whole Facebook post about being like, well, I asked him to come with me, and you don't want to, leave me alone. I'm happy in Kansas. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You guys are just trying to control me. Just, like, very, like, out of character things for her. And like I said, she missed her dad's funeral, her brother's wedding, her son's graduation, 3 of his birthdays. He turned 16, 17, 18. Like,
good Lord.
And so eventually her son, Max, messages her Facebook account and says, if you're really my mom, answer these 3 questions. What is my middle name? Who was my childhood best friend? What was the name of our first boxer?
I'm going to start crying.
When he first messaged her, she said, like, called him little man. And he was like, my mom would never have called me that. And when he asked those 3 questions, Liz stops answering. Don't cry because you're going to make me cry.
Stop. I'm going to cry. She's such a pretty lady.
Yeah.
She has such a warm smile. You can just tell she was such a good mom.
She really was, yeah.
That sucks, dude. I'm crying like I'm deep crying. Why are people...
I don't get it.
Why are people...
I don't get it.
Fuck.
All of a sudden, it clicks for Liz. Liz figures it out. Liz goes to the police, and she files a police report against Amy, Dave's kid's mother. She's like, it has to be Amy. Because why would Cari have an assault against me? I never met her. Like, clearly I'm a threat to Amy, but I'm not a threat to Cari. I never did anything to Cari. But Amy, it's got to be her. Dave is like, I don't know. Like, this is weird. And she's like, but Amy had never been getting messages. Now all of a sudden Amy's getting messages. Like, maybe she's faking being Cari, but really it's been Amy this whole time. It's very weird. Dave's like, I don't know, that seems kind of weird. Like, yeah, I didn't want to marry Amy, but like, she's not a vengeful or a hateful person. Like, this doesn't make sense.
She left him.
She left him because he wouldn't marry her, right? But Liz must have been onto something, because the very next day, December 5th, 2015, 911 gets a phone call from Liz, who's been shot in the park while she was on a walk. She's bleeding really badly. She'd been shot in the leg. She said someone came up behind her, put a gun in her back and said, how do you like fucking Dave? And then shot her in the leg. And then shot a second time and missed her. And then ran off. So she calls 911 and she's like very frantic on the phone. She's like, my leg is bleeding and my pant leg is filling up with blood. And so the ambulance gets there.
What?
Yeah.
No, you know what? She should have just fucking said, I haven't fucked Dave in a year at least.
Right.
I'm living with another guy. Fucking relax.
The ambulance gets her. They take her into surgery. There's fucking helicopters with like, searchlights looking for Amy. Looking for someone. They don't know it's Amy initially. She gets out of surgery and she's writing down her guess. Liz gets out of surgery and she's like, it was Amy. Amy was the shooter. So the cops come barreling into Amy's house.
I just wrote her the message.
The fucking SWAT comes barreling into Amy's house. Amy's sitting on her couch with her baby. She's had another baby with another guy.
Right.
She's like chilling with her baby and she's like, what the fuck? And the cops just
breastfeeding.
Like,
she's like, I have sore nipples. Get out of my house.
The cops say to her, like, in one account, like, you don't look like you just shot someone. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So the cops figure out really quickly that Amy did not shoot Liz because the neighbors are like, her car's been here for like 3 days. She just had a baby. She just had a little baby. So the cops start figuring out what's happening. Are you figuring out what's happening?
I figured it out as soon as I saw her picture. I was like, oh, this bitch is cray.
Okay. So Liz...
Anybody who poses like that in a picture is not right in the mindset.
I had to find one that wasn't her mugshot. So her mugshot's pretty good.
Really? Now I need to see that mugshot.
Yeah, I'll show it to you in a second. So Liz and Dave have been very open about their phones and what's been happening. They hand their phones to the cops constantly. So the cops are like, hey, can we download your phones again? They take the phones and they give it to this like forensic digitologist. I don't know, whatever the fuck.
Phone crickologist.
Yeah. The way Dave was explaining it on the podcast was like that he is like a computer science teacher in the high school and that he volunteers for the police department for $1 a year.
Dave?
No, this computer guy. Yeah.
The computer crickologist?
Yeah. He spent like, I don't know, 1,000 hours or something just getting through these like text messages and like figuring out for this case.
And
like
he charged him $1.
It's a volunteer thing that he does. Yeah. It's like hours and hours and hours. Anyway, they figure out that Liz has 30 fake email addresses, all in variations of Cari's name, that match the sum of 50,000 emails that have been sent to them in 3 years. All of that gets traced back to Liz's IP address. So the cops know it's Liz, right? And the cops tell Dave to move in with Amy and the kids to like protect his family. Like, you should be with them, your kids.
There's a whole other ass guy with Amy. Why would he move in there? He does.
He moves in with her. He does. I don't know. Maybe she just had a kid with another guy, but maybe she wasn't in a relationship with him. Because he does move in with her. Maybe the guy lives there. I don't know, but he does move in with her. But really, the cops want to be able to watch them all together.
Okay.
They had put a tracking device in.
To save money.
Yeah.
It's really to save money.
Right. Also, let's not be like, let's change Dave's number and only tell Liz and see if she's the one that...
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, let's give him a fake number and just give it to Liz. Like, that would have been much easier.
Exactly.
But, yeah, Dave moves in the house with the kids. They had put a tracking device on Liz's car, and this bitch just, like, circles the fucking house. Just, like, over and over and over again. Like, she's, like, just always there. So Liz calls the cops. There's, like, this message that you can hear. This, like, frantic message from Amy to the police.
She shot herself,
and she burned her house down and killed her pets.
Oh, my God.
She's out of her fucking mind.
Oh my God. Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Like, killed her dogs and cats and snake. Like,
No.
yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't even want to, I'm afraid to say, or to, Carrie, poor Carrie. Like, she's been...
So she calls the cops and she's like, what the fuck? Amy shot me. She killed Carrie. And you're just letting her live
Killed
with Carrie? Where has Carrie been for 3 years? She must be dead. This is Liz saying this.
Right.
Amy definitely did this. She killed a woman. She shot me. How are you just letting her just walk free? Because the cops didn't arrest her for shooting Amy or for shooting Liz.
Right.
This is why I gave you their pictures. I'm like, I can barely keep up with them.
Right.
So the cops are like, listen, man, we need evidence. Maybe you can get Amy to confess. And Liz is like, I will get Amy to confess. So,
But they're watching Amy.
right. So Liz...
Amy's postpartum.
Liz emails Amy and is like, you should confess. And then miraculously, Amy emails Liz back and confesses. Right?
Wow, they should hire her.
So Amy emails Liz, a woman she barely knows, confesses to the murder of Carrie, a woman she never met.
Right.
Tells her that she confronted Carrie at Dave's house. She got inside Carrie's car with her. She stabbed her in the stomach a bunch in the passenger seat of the car. And then, took her and burned her body.
Oh my God.
It's a very detailed graphic thing of how she killed Liz.
Oh my God.
So the cops are like, interesting. Let's get that Ford Explorer back here. Because that's the car,
Yeah.
But since they initially had processed that car and they gave it back...
it was squeaky clean.
Yeah, they gave it back to Carrie's family, and Carrie's
Right.
family sold the car.
Fuck.
So the police track down the car. They take the fabric off the seats. Bloodstains all over the passenger seat.
Oh my God.
They run that fingerprint that they found on that
The
piece
gum?
of gum. Fucking Liz's fingerprint. So they pull Liz in and they're like, were you ever in Carrie's car? And she's like, no, I only saw her for 10 seconds. The cops are like, how are your fingerprints in her car? My fingerprints were not in her car. I'm like, no, well, they actually are definitely in her car. And so, of course, she's arrested for the murder of Carrie with no body. And she's charged with the arson of her home. So just before the trial, the police come to see Dave, like, just to check on him, before this guy is like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck is happening? So they go to check on him and they're like, do you have any, like, more electronics or anything that, like, maybe she handled that, whatever? And he's like, well, I did sort of have this tablet. We would, like, play a little, like, Candy Crush or whatever on there. Like, I don't think anything. But if I can find it, I'll give it to you. So he finds it. The cops come and take it. And he's like, the cops call him and they're like, you only use this tablet for games and such,
Candy
right?
Crush.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I never used it for anything. Liz had taken an SD card out of her phone, put it into the tablet to delete the SD card. But, of course, that doesn't delete anything.
Okay.
They found pictures of a severed leg burned up in a fire, and there was a tattoo on the foot, an Asian symbol of the word mother, which Carrie had that matching tattoo with her ex when they had their son.
Oh my God.
So this was like very damning evidence to...
She fucking really killed her.
She killed her. Yep. And Dave just, like, couldn't understand. He's like, I dated so many women. Like, it just made no sense why her. It made no sense. Like, she really got fixated on...
This woman became unhinged.
Yes. For, like, no fucking reason. He would, like, even after, like, the murder, and she would be like, we're stronger together. Look at what we're doing. And he would be like, no, I'm definitely not moving in with you. And then they would break up and, like, and every time, like, they would have a lull, like, he just was very, like, oblivious to the fact that it could have ever been Liz. He dated her on and off for 3 years this whole time, and many other women.
I have shock eyes.
Yeah, in Nebraska, it's life in prison is 25 years, but she got an additional 20 years for the arson of her house.
Right.
Yeah, Carrie was only 37 years old when she died. Her son...
Oh, so
Her son
sad.
was... It was... The Max was... It was very sad.
Oh, I want to cry for him every time I think about
There's, like,
that.
a picture of them, and, like, he looks just like her. Like, he looks just like her. It's really...
Oh.
He was a cute kid, and it was really sad because the mom... they have this, like, Midwestern accent. There's a little video, I can link it. But the mom is like, she took everything from us. She took my daughter, but she took my son doesn't have a mother. Even my grandson doesn't have a mother anymore. And it was, like, really fucking tragic. And this was like, she killed her pet, she burned her own house down, she caused herself thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage.
Herself
she shot herself
leg.
and she shot herself. She almost bled to death because there's like your fucking femoral artery is like a huge artery in you might as well, if you cut your throat, it's as dangerous as shooting yourself in the leg. The police said, like, the analytics or whatever, that she spent 40 to 50 hours a week sending emails and shit.
Didn't she work?
I don't know what the fuck she did. Oh, she burned her house down because she got evicted a couple of weeks before. She was in the process of getting evicted.
Oh, shit.
So it was fine to burn her house down. She was getting evicted.
What a nut job.
Yeah, she was out of her fucking mind, man. She was out of her mind. It was really wild. And he was just like, dude, what the fuck? If you, like, listen to him on any, like, Dateline or whatever, he's just like, he does seem really cold. He does.
Yeah.
And, like, it's almost like, I don't know how she could have got it twisted that he would have been...
Right.
Like, he was very... He's still cold about it.
Yet he was kind of into Cari.
He was kind of into Cari, and he keeps, like... Because people, like, in every interview, they're like, did it seem like maybe she could have been somebody? And he's like, we dated for 2 weeks. Like, I can't say that, but she was really cool. She's like, yeah. He's like, she was a cool chick. She was hanging around me. I liked her a lot.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And she probably was, like, really appealing to him because, you know, somebody who's not clingy,
he said,
who is, like, independent.
He's like, she had a way better job than me.
Right.
She made more money. She had a nicer house than me.
Right, exactly.
He's like, she didn't need me for anything.
And that's what he liked.
He loved it.
Men like that.
He did. He loved it. He was like, the only thing she needed me for was my address, and she'd been working around that for a year or two, however long she had the job. She's like, it was convenient for her to stay at my house, but, like, she didn't need me.
Right.
And that's exactly what he was looking for. He's like, I just got out of this very long relationship. I have 2 kids. Like,
I take that back. Men do not like
not
that.
all men like it.
Not all men
but
like that.
men like this who don't want to be committed,
right.
like, love an independent woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah, however Liz got this shit twisted. Yeah, truly was a loss. She was, that was the other thing I was going to say was, this woman was so smart. She had this, like, 155 IQ. There were so many typos in the emails and the text messages.
That the other...
her family was like, this is not Cari.
Yeah.
She would never have this many typos. Even if she was, like, furiously angry during her, like, ranting lunacy.
Right.
She wouldn't have this many typos. She's a brilliantly smart computer programmer. Like, she definitely wouldn't have had this. That's one of the main reasons the family was like, this is not her. This is not her.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she kept spelling we're, like, were. She would always say, we're together. Mm-hmm. And he's like, it was just very weird because everybody that was getting these emails, it was all these same typos.
Yeah.
So they were able to be like, yeah, these are all coming from the same people.
If I'm sending grammatically incorrect text messages with no punctuation, question whether that's me.
You got it. Good to know.
I don't send that shit.
Yeah.
And my daughter is like, are you mad at me? And I'm like, why? She's like, because you punctuate every text message.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes me paranoid.
The young kids don't do that.
Yeah, they don't. Dude, this is wild.
I know. I was like, as soon as I heard this story, I'm like, yeah, I have to tell you assholes about this story because this is crazy.
And sad,
it's really sad.
Also, Liz is the epitome of a crazy-looking, wild-eyed woman.
Let me show you her mugshot. Hold on.
She definitely looked crazy in this picture.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't put that picture because you definitely would have known it was her.
It doesn't even look like her. Cari was gorgeous.
Yeah, she was.
Dude.
Crazy. The Dateline episode was really good.
Oh, I want to watch it. The
Dateline episode was really good. If you download the, like,
there's
NBC...
also a Dateline of mine, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch it. It's the guy... What's that white-haired guy's name that, like, interviews everybody? He was...
Mm-hmm. Morrison.
Yeah,
Morrison.
Yes, it was him. And he's just like... You know, he's got that, like, smooth-ass voice. And he's like... So what did you think, like... Maybe Cari was the one? He's like, man, I don't know. I was just like... It was so funny.
Oh,
but
God.
the first one with his kid's mother, she's like, he's heartless. He's heartless.
Amy?
Like, yeah, Amy was like, he has no emotions. Like, so she was even like, how could you think that he would ever settle down with you? He was with me for a decade and wouldn't marry me. He's definitely not going to marry you or anyone else. Right. We had kids together. If he was going to marry anybody, it would have been her.
Right.
But he didn't want to.
I gotta watch this.
It's good. Yeah, it's really good.
Do you know what the Dateline episode's called? Mine's called A Woman in the Bar.
Oh, it's called Scorned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we've just exchanged Dateline
Perfect.
episodes.
That's perfect. And feel free to listen to the Strictly Stalking episodes. I can even link that too because it was really good. It was really good to like. I mean, I basically told you his whole story,
Yeah.
but he like has a lot of other details about how he was feeling and how people were feeling. But it was a really good episode where I was like, I have to tell this. So we have to build an episode around this thing because it's so
and
good.
I definitely recommend the article that
that was a good article,
to the thing.
yeah.
Because it's very beautifully done. Like if you go on the website, it's like there's illustrations, there's pictures, but like very
good
artistic
sources.
pictures.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really good.
Okay, great.
It's almost like a storybook, like a mystery book.
Oh, I wanna check that out.
Yeah, it's really cool. So that's it for us. Check Republic. Check in with us next week. In the meantime, go see what we cooked up on Patreon.
Do that.
We have more content there. I'm not going to promise that it's any good. It's more of the same.
That's right.
It's good. No, it's actually we have videos and things like that, and funny
You get
stuff.
to see our
and,
faces.
Yeah, and we have personal stories and things like that. If you're feeling generous and you want to support us, you can do so by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link in the show notes and make a donation there. The best thing you can do for us is spread the word of our podcast and give us a good review on iTunes.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and we'll check you out next week. Oh, wait.
What?
Before you get taken to the second location, if you are coming on to Facebook to join our Facebook group, you are able to join our Facebook page, but you're not able to enter the Facebook group unless you answer the questions.
Yes,
and we do
it's a
that.
Quiz.
We do that. We will not accept you. I'm sorry. We've turned down a lot of people.
Yeah, we turned 3 down this week, I think.
Yeah, just the other day.
No, yesterday.
Yeah.
A couple days ago.
We will not.
I don't know, you fool.
Yeah, no, it's because we want to protect everybody's, like, we have a really tight group in there where everybody's like besties.
Yeah.
And we really want to protect the people in there. So if you don't agree to the rules, then we can't let you in.
That's right.
So it's very important that you answer the rules. That you agree to the rules. Other than that, we'll check you out next week.
It's a binding contract.
It is. It's a binding contract. Remember, don't get taken to that second location. Cheers.
Cheers.
Are you okay?
Jesus Christ.
Fucking loud.
You're disgusting and I hate you both. Oh, God.